Let's lower the music, shall we? What's up, everybody? Francisco here, Sports Goofs number 104. Joined by Charles. Andrew's off, doing his own thing. Probably gonna watch the Lightning. Go Islanders! Go Islanders! I'm already starting. Go Islanders! Go! Let's go!
I mean, after that debacle of a
Woo!
8-0 ass whooping, I don't want that in any of my playoffs, man. I want competitiveness, and I'm not the full guy in hockey world. But damn, if you want me to get invested to watch, I need to see this game that my buddy loves so much, and the team that he loves so much, actually be like sweating a little.
Oh yeah, no, that it was. I was very surprised that happened to the Islanders of all teams. So that went down. Other things went down in sports. There's baseball. Yeah, baseball's happening.
Yeah.
But there's basketball.
PSA is not as intimate with their inspections as the things are.
Ooh, we got to get into that. Get into get into the inspections. We got freaking.
We got beef, man.
We have beef. Yeah, we have beef. We have pie as well.
Do we?
We have some pie. You got to eat some of it. All right. I mean, you might have to eat hey, there's some pumpkin pie for you, but you don't have to eat the apple pie. Just saying. You may not have to eat every flavor of pie, but regardless, I think the fact of you not eating certain pies will make you feel better about eating the other pies. But whatever, pies gonna happen. But regardless, there's gonna be pie in the face of teams. That's for sure. Let's go. What was I? Where was I? What was I doing?
We were talking about basketball. We were talking about hockey.
We're talking hockey. Speaking of hockey, I mean, Pirani's Hockey World. They got stuff. You're number one over there. The customer, best customer service, lowest prices, and largest product selection. Go on their website. They have all the experience. They have all the hard work. They have all the info and content that you need to get all of your hockey needs. Lowest prices, biggest selection, new products, and even the closeout and prior year products. Check out our website. Click on the banner. It'll help us out. And you can help yourself out by getting some nice hockey gear this summer. Because it is freaking hot outside.
Yeah. Get your jerseys. Get your cups. You can always use a good cup in this world. It's good protection for yourselves. Maybe they have jock straps. See if they even do like the name embroidery stuff. But if you want your best hockey needs, hockey supplies, go to that website. Francisco talked about it. Obviously, I cannot review because I don't see the advertisements.
Yeah. Well, gosh, man, it has been freaking hot out here, and luckily I've been doing my fastest running in the heat. So
I'm very jealous of you because yesterday I had to be in court in person, and for anybody who's not in Florida, allow me to explain to you what it felt like being in a pseudo tweed suit jacket with a long shirt, an undershirt, pants, socks, walking, and then of course having to talk to people when you're with your client, walking outside the courthouse or talking to the other attorneys that and all that stuff. It has prepared me for the afterlife because I know my ass is roasting in hell and I'll be more comfortable there than humidity I was feeling. And I still wear my mask in the courtroom, just going there, and I gotta say, thank God, because they can't see the lip sweat that is coming in there. It's not beads of sweat, it's like full on drenched. It's like I just came up from the pool all sweaty and watery, and I'm surprised my nose wasn't running. I hate this part of the year. I was really enjoying a year ago where my hearings were conducted via Zoom, where I had my nice fan going at a high speed and everything like that, and then there's Francisco being happy that he's running. But how can you run? I mean, does the hockey place sell face guards? Because right now should be bug season. All bug seasons in Florida. Flies, garden bugs, the freaking love bugs, as we call them, where you can have things catch in your mouth and actually be having insect intercourse, is what we'll call it.
Yeah.
In your face. All that fun stuff. I moved to Florida when I was 8 years old, and it was the first time I had a love bug on me. I'm like, oh, it's from there. And someone's like, oh, yeah, they're effing on you. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, in New York, it was just cockroaches and spiders, man. For me, and every now and then the fireflies. But, hate this time of the year for the heat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. It is what it is. Seem to be doing my best running in the heat. I've always been doing that. It's kind of been the way of my whole life. Anyways, where shall we start? Yeah, let's get to it. There's a basketball game in the background for those who are listening to the podcast version. NBA in the Zone 98. We've got the Atlanta Hawks and Philadelphia 76ers, everybody. All right, Charles, you're not eating this pie. You are not eating this pie whatsoever.
I'm making this pie.
Mm.
I'm making this pie. This is for anybody who loves South Park. This is the Scott Tenorman Chili Bowl. And you know what? That's what, when I get to throw it in your face, it's I'm in your chili. I'm in your shiz. Going from there, it felt so. Francisco, tell them what happened because I want to. You're not neutral either. Let's be straight here. The only person on this show who was actually neutral to the Philly hate was Andrew. 100%. But the emotion might be strong, whereas Francisco would be the stern parent who just lost a child kind of thing, very stoic. I'm the one who's sobbing loudly, dramatically like a soap opera, and that's the emotion that comes. So Francisco, why did I go that dark? It's because Andrew's not here. We already know this.
Yes, of course.
Tell us, my man.
Ooh.
What happened?
All right. So the Philadelphia 76ers come into the Eastern Conference semifinals as the number one team in the East, facing off against the Atlanta Hawks, who got the 5th seed, won the Southeast Division, and coming into the series, you would think, oh, well, Philadelphia is going to handle the Hawks. Maybe the Hawks get one, get that gentleman's sweep. Who knows? But that was not what was going to happen with the Hawks. No, the Hawks came out swinging. They got the first punch in, win game 1. 1-0 lead. 4-point victory at Philly. Trae Young.
No house.
Ice Trae. 35 points. Bogdanovich, 21 points in game 1. So Sixers are like, oh, whoopsie daisies. All right, well, let's run it back. Game 2, all right. Sixers win 118-102. Okay, looks like things are back to normal. Let's get that gentleman's sweep. Head on over there. It was an 18-point lead. It's like, okay, all right, this is how it's going to be. All right, then we'll win this game, go out to Atlanta, win the games out there, then win at home on game 5 and head on over to the East and face off against whoever the heck. All right, it's fine. But then it's like, okay, well, we won game 3, 127-111. According to plan, things are going well. All right, Joel Embiid, constant double teams, whatever, man. Nothing for him.
Playing on a torn knee.
Yeah, nothing for him. No problems whatsoever. Philly's running good. Then, turning point of the series, game 4. Atlanta rallying. And this is kind of the theme of that was about to go down. The rally, the comeback victory, the never say die Hawks. Tying up the series. Winning 103-100. Okay? So, Joel Embiid didn't have a great second half. And it seems like without him, the Sixers are nothing. And, well...
Trash.
It's true. Because one would think, hey, man, we got to surround this guy with some good guys. All right, we got Ben Simmons. We'll get to him. We got Tobias Harris. That's fine, right? Okay. We got Steph's brother. Does that work? Does that work for us?
Basically, it's Steph's clone in that sense, where something was to happen.
It's like, okay.
Transfer Steph's body into.
Listen, man. Everybody, I'm a fan of Luigi, but when you want Mario, you want Mario. There's a reason. There's a reason.
It's not called Super Luigi Galaxy.
Exactly. So Philly relying on the other Curry. It's like you relying on Luigi. All right. Every once in a while, he'll get you there. All right. Seth had a Luigi's Mansion there. He did, but he's not getting. We're not seeing Super Luigi Odyssey. Heck, he wasn't even playable in that game. Wasn't even playable.
Bowser don't beef with him. Bowser don't even
And at
care
this
about him.
point, speaking of not non-playable, Ben Simmons will be an NPC. At this point. Game number 5. Atlanta. Atlanta going back to Philly. Winning. Trailing by 26 points. The gang blows a 26-point lead. 109-106. They had a 99 point whatever percent chance of winning that game, Philadelphia. Didn't happen.
How many points?
26-point lead.
At any point, was there a timeout called?
And they won by 3.
Stop that from
You know,
happening?
all they had to
Is
do was
there-
1 or 2 stops, maybe score a couple times, and they would have won that game.
There's a coach right there.
Oh,
Is he
yeah.
a rookie coach?
Senor Rivers. The doc, as they call him. Doctor of Failure?
Dr. Death?
Dr. Doom?
That man has more failures and dead bodies than Ed Kevorkian and Steve Williams combined. Steve Williams, Dr. Death, Steve Williams was a wrestler. You see, I brought that mess together.
The Dr. Eggman? Dr. Wiley? I don't know. But he's not a... He might be a podiatrist. I'm not even sure.
Dr. Sleep, because those teams get to leave early.
Exactly. Oh, when we're sponsored by Smelter, everybody. All right. Doc Rivers can't ruin Smelter. That's a good thing.
He could if they put him in charge.
They put him in charge of development.
Cry me a river.
Oh, boy. So, Game 6. All right. Philadelphia headed back to Atlanta. They're not going to let this happen. They're going back for Game 7, and they did it. All right. They played a little better defense. But it still didn't extol any confidence now, did it? 104-99, 5-point victory when you're supposed to be smacking down this Atlanta team, playing in desperation to try and get it back to Philly. That wasn't how the NBA had its script going. Adam Silver didn't have this in the script at all. We all know the NBA has a script.
They're basically looking for that last minute dance to the Sadie Hawkins or prom because they waited around.
The NBA rewriting. Okay, LeBron and the Lakers were out, and they had to do massive rewrites. So, so here was Philly. All right, and suddenly they have to do more rewrites. Oh, this is more compelling. Game 7, let Philly win, and then we'll have Milwaukee versus Philly, just how we drew it, or Milwaukee versus or Philly versus Brooklyn. Either way, that's the way we want to draw it up, right? That's how Adam Silver and the guys in the writers' room were doing it. No. Philly was towards the end of the game. They were hurting because some guy named Herter hurt them. Game 7, Charles, Kevin Herter.
Hurt Locker.
He was one of the few players that got one of those Dwayne Wade jersey swaps in that farewell season of his. He wears number 3 because Dwayne Wade was his favorite player. Oh, the spirit of Wade was through that man. There was some flash going through those veins, and he was putting the hurting on Philly. 27 points.
Kevin Herter, I want to go Hispanic alert there, but Herter is like the love child of Dwayne Wade and Brian Scalabrine, the White Mamba.
The Red Mamba.
Yeah, it's his own thing, exactly.
Red Flash.
I mean, Flash is red, so.
Well, that's true.
There's so much. Yeah, I call it Cyclone. I'll go into my. I like Red Mamba.
Oh yeah. So here we are. Here we are in Game 7. Philadelphia. The 76ers. They were winning at one point, right? They were winning. Looked like, okay, fourth quarter. They're at home, of all places.
Trey's not shooting well.
Exactly. It's like, okay, this is the way it should be, right? But, I'd rather take a Trey Young not shooting well than, this guy you're paying. How many millions is this man getting? I don't know.
$33 million
per year. Ben Simmons not shooting. and not shooting because he's missing. No, not shooting because, well, he is missing, but also,
Scared.
but he's just not shooting.
He's shooting it like Charles in Commitment. Frightened.
He literally had a open layup slash dunk and passed it to a teammate who was being covered
Double coverage.
under the rim. I possibly could have made that because nobody was near me, and I'm 5'10" on a good day. How? How? Oh my goodness gracious! You know, so many things to be said, but I think Philly, as constructed, are frauds. Yes, we all knew this, and we all know this. As constructed, what are
Did they?
the process has failed.
Did they all know this, Francisco?
The process has failed. They failed. They got one guy. That was it. They got one guy, Joel Embiid, and he can practically make it into the playoffs healthy. So they got maybe 0.75 of a guy throughout that whole process. And they haven't even made the Eastern Conference Finals. You know? So there's one. They failed in their roster construction, they failed in their drafting. All right, with only one guy to show for it. And their other big guy that they paid a ton of money for is I'm loving the memes that are coming out of this with the whole like the Shanghai Sharks memes. Basically, they're gonna go to the Chinese league. Him and Ben Simmons and Kyle Kuzma and I forgot who else.
McCollum.
Yeah, exactly. Are going to the Chinese league, and I love how all the memes that are showing of LeBron, Bosch, and Wade is like these guys when they the big three for the Shanghai Sharks. So there's but Charles.
May I?
Yeah, there's another reason why Philly lost. A certain doctor that we were talking about.
Don't give him the stats. Give him the stats before I lose it.
Let's see. Doc Rivers is riding on the laurels of a 2008 championship. Remember 2008? It's been a while. And that's it. That is all he has been doing. And
established veterans.
Yes, with 3 Hall of Famers. Okay, 3 Hall of Famers, and I know you can say, oh, Eric Spoelstra had that. Well, Eric Spoelstra has been back to the finals, and he won multiple. He won 2 with those guys. Doc Rivers couldn't even run it back. Okay, couldn't even run it back. All right, he got to a game 7. That's fine, but Eric Spoelstra has done better. More finals appearances, more everything. Doc Rivers has been, heck, let's just say since
Eric Spoelstra
we'll give him.
Let's
give him. Okay, fine. 2010 got to Game 7. All right, fine. Game 7 in the finals against the Lakers. Sure. Okay, we'll give you that little bit, just that little bit. But since then, where have we been? Where have we been, Doc Rivers? How many careers have you wasted? All right, the twilight of Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, the Chris Paul, poor Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, I guess DeAndre Jordan. I'm not sure.
Kind of DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, Kawhi for one season, I think. Right, so there's that.
Paul George for another.
Paul George, and yeah, so wasted all of that. Then head on over to Philly. Philly giving a 5-year contract to this man. 5 years. 5-year contract. I didn't even know they were paying him. They were hiring him for that long. I would think, okay, I'll give him like 2, maybe 3 years, right? That seemed semi-reasonable. But 5 years? Did you really think the championship window was that wide open? So 5 years, and year one, and we are at full on Doc Rivers. We've gone full Doc Rivers. All right, we're full on Doc Rivers. We're full on Philly and full on Doc Rivers. So we both have we have fraudulentness up the wazoo. I mean,
May I now
go
take the
go
reins?
go. No pie for Charles. No pie.
I told you! I told all of you! Since last year, 2 years. But in the beginning of the season, I said frauds. In the beginning of the season, I said, wait, you hired a guy who is known to be a very good coach, and you think he can take you far? I told you last week on the show that I respected Tyronn Lue when he was able to survive the Dallas Mavericks in that first round because I felt that Doc Rivers would not be able to do it. Tyronn Lue is in the Western Conference Finals. Granted, Utah was not fully healthy, but no one is. They won it without Kawhi.
Yeah.
And then there's Doc playing poor Joel Embiid. And I'll say this now: of all the hate I put on to Philly, Joel has all my respect. Joel actually would have been my MVP guy.
Poor man.
I don't see why Jokic got it. I know why Jokic got it. His assist numbers are higher, but I looked at the stats today because I knew this was coming. Where Joel was 28, 10.6, and 2.9 assists. Jokic, of course, close to a triple-double, but being close to triple-double is not a triple-double, kids. Understand that. But Jokic was like 26, 10.8, and then 7 or 8 assists. And the key difference I felt was games played. 70-something for Jokic, 50-something for Embiid. So you lose a quarter of the season close to it. If Embiid only missed like 5 games less, 10 games less, I don't even think Jokic gets the MVP, to be quite honest with you. Because Jokic, only got a third, fourth seed for his team. Embiid got the first seed.
Yeah.
But aside from Embiid just also being, you're kind of concerned in the financial stability you have in there, Ben Simmons, I told you kids that it was folly of them to give him a max contract. Did I not, Francisco? We did this last year. And now you're bound to him for $33 million, $34 million, $35 million, and the final year, $41 million. This is not like Russell Westbrook where you're like, damn it, I hate that he's $41 million, but I know what I'm getting out of Russ. That's proven track.
Yeah.
We just don't want to give him $41 million at like 36. The same logic, not trying to get Chris all that
Russ
money
will
at 36.
do what I think NBA players are supposed to shoot the ball. I'm not sure. I think that's what's going.
Russell does what superstars do, what max contract guys do, and they play without fear. Ben Simmons, I told you guys he never did anything to improve his free throw. I told you all he never did anything to improve his three-point shot. And mind you, it's easier said than done. We know that. We're not talking heads who act like we play the game full. I can barely make a 2-point shot, playing ball. But I understand that you have to put in that hard work and that effort, and I don't see it there. I didn't want to financially commit to him because this is the thing I don't understand about why you decided to give Ben Simmons this max contract. You said boo-hoo to Michael Carter-Williams, who is just Ben Simmons in a different position. Michael Carter-Williams was the beginning of the thought process for the draft, where he was a winky kind of shooter, but he could be a distributor of the ball and rebound accordingly. He was kind of lengthy and lean, played decent defense. It's been a slew of players like that. The Ball brothers, Simmons, Michael Carter-Williams. You trade Michael Carter-Williams and you get Markelle Fultz. Markelle, I don't know what the hell happened, but it's just not there. I mean, I know people were saying, "Oh, he's coming back," but it's all water. It's all.
It's yips. It's all kind. It's playing up to that pressure. He just it is what it is.
But the thing is, you convinced yourself that Ben Simmons at 6'10" is an everything player, and you're gonna put him at point guard, and he's gonna be playing that thing, and he's gonna take those shots, and that's not him. And that's on. I can't even say it's like Doc. Doc didn't have a say into it. You inherited it. And it's not Sam Hinkie, who everybody's saying trust Foster, because he was gone. I don't think he was there to draft Simmons, I believe. It's Morey. It's everybody there who kind of decided to put this thing where really what he is like he's a third. He's a wing who can distribute. So really what he is, he's fringe starter best bench guy. Personal opinion. Like I know everything,
I- I'm I'm
but
I'm just
we,
looking
we
at these. Yeah,
look at
keep
those
going.
stats. Look at those stats. We give him. Oh, he's a three-time All-Star. That means nothing in basketball. Really does not. It's a popularity vote. It's a media vote, and the stats look nice. It's nice, but he was never shooting great. He only gets the high points from going at the basket. If you have a big, and the problem is in today's game, you do not have bigs who can clog the lane or the baseline. That's the truth. The only couple of guys that are out there right now that do such things is Joker, kind of Embiid, sometimes Giannis, but Giannis doesn't switch up because he has to stick to what Budenholzer tells him. We're going to talk about that later on in the show. And then I would say DeAndre Ayton is kind of like a shutdown guy. I like what he's doing over there in Phoenix. So if you're just letting guys get the driving to the lanes or the fast break, you're gonna get those inflated stats. And there's a difference what people need to understand. And I hate to say analytics, but you cannot deny analytics. It's a pure science to a degree. If you can look into the field goal percentage people made, it might be higher for him. But if you're looking at 2 points made, 2 points is construed as what, Francisco? Going for layups, dunks,
Mm.
lobs, and jump shots. If you can go deeper into the analytics of how much percentage is it from jump shots, I can guarantee you it's a low amount for him. Guy doesn't shoot threes. He cannot spread the floor if he's not facilitating. And that's the problem. You cannot have a real point guard on that team if Ben Simmons is there at the same time because he cannot stand in the corner like a wing and shoot the three. He can't be a 3-and-D guy. He cannot really be a cut man, I think. So it doesn't necessarily work. And can he improve his game? Sure. He's 25, 26. Everybody can have a chance. I don't think you got to figure out what to do. You got to hire a guy who used to shoot, Allen Iverson, and be like, hey, he sounds like he's a guy. And if he doesn't want to learn under Iverson, one of the best, uh, yes or no, top three pure shooters of all time,
Mm-hmm.
of everything, and of what he did, of knowing with the lane to jump shot it. And if he can't do it in that year, if he doesn't put in that hard work and that dedication with the right guy, and doesn't go from there, then you ship him because that's too. And who's gonna want that contract? I have a theory, but we're not on theory today. We're on Charles not gonna eat pie. I'm not gonna eat pie. Not chili. But I told y'all that was not gonna be good. I told you that Ben Simmons only way that team that roster will work well if you gave him what it was 2 years ago when he had shooters, and then you had um, Seth Curry. Good for
Mm-hmm.
Seth because he looked confident. But everybody else was kind of wonky. The other guys are on the bench. No solo bueno. Doc Rivers. Are we gonna do this now? Are we gonna do that, Doc? Yeah, I'm ready for this. You're
Yeah.
not ready for this. Aside from saying that Tyronn Lue would have done the thing that was better, I don't feel, and
Oh,
I wouldn't
Charles.
tell me.
Guess who's sponsoring us tonight too?
Tell me.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Oh.
McDonald's. Ba 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 ba.
Finally. Oh, look at that.
Look at
Reeled in a
that.
whale.
I'm shocked because they heard me talking about that sweet chili and Cajun flavors that they have with their new BTS meal, whatever the hell
Mm.
that is. But I
Oh,
do know
that
they have a new
Japanese,
spicy
or no, the Korean,
Korean
whatever.
pop band. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. You see, BTS were just used to behind the scenes, but we know that there's like a chicken competition going on this year because now we have McDonald's doing this and we have the Chicken. Maybe I'll talk about that in a second, right?
Mm.
But bringing it back to Doc Rivers because when you look at
Oh.
Doc Rivers and you're looking at his coaches, and I'm gonna do this. Eric Spoelstra, he is the value meal. He's the combos, baby. He is that stuff that you say if you want the medium or the large. You know what Doc is? Doc is the dollar menu.
Mm.
Says your ass is broke but you're hungry, and that's what Philly did with this man. They said we broke but we hungry, so we're gonna get something filming. We're gonna get the pitiful small fries that don't have the salt. Listen, I love me some good 2 McChickens and small fries. I'm not gonna insult this, but then you just get a McDonald's cheeseburger. Ew, what? Or you get the McDonald's hamburger. Gross. That's what they did in their assessment because they rested on the laurel of a guy for several years. I have said, I don't think. Look, I'm gonna say right now, if you put coaches in the Hall of Fame, Doc Rivers to me is not a Hall of Fame coach. He'll get there. They all get there because he got a
Longevity.
championship out of it.
Yeah.
Longevity. Jerry Sloan's in there. He never won it. Okay, I get that. But my thought process coming into it is on the totality of things. He started with the Magic, and that was a rough start because Orlando. Andrew's not here, so I can't talk smash about it. But for Orlando, when he was with the Magic, it was a very in-between team that was starting out. Then he went to the Celtics, and what did the Celtics have to do? They're like, we got to give you everybody. So we traded for Ray we got Kevin Garnett. We're here to help out with Paul Pierce, and they won it in their first year. They were the rebirth of the super team. And what I hate is how everybody thinks that the super team will start with Boston and for Miami. I'm like, guys, have you not watched the Lakers in the 80s? They were already kind of there, right?
Mm.
Chicago, that was definitely a super team ever. It was different kind of monies being affiliated. So he goes, they win against the Lakers. We loved it, and we loved it. Why? Because of who won. Not so much of crazy man Paul Pierce, but Ray Allen, the silkiest shooter of all time, not named Steph Curry. And because of Kevin Garnett, I still remember it now, crying peanut, because there's always a player on a team who knows somebody named Peanut. Um, but then you go back in, what, 2010 or 2009, and you F it up. You had a lead, you let it lose. And then what happens is you went to effing um,
Okay.
LA, the Clippers,
I'm looking
coming
at
into it.
Doc Rivers'
Yeah, yeah.
career. I mean, look, he's
He's
got a winning
doing it.
record. Yes,
So what?
585. You
Look at
know,
the play.
I mean, luckily he's only got one NBA Coach of the Year, and that was his rookie year with Orlando. All right, that's fine. You know, he got them to 500, but Eastern Conference, whatever. And I guess with a terrible team. So you know, with Orlando, all right, fine. The Magic are the Magic, all right. But and people say, hey, he wasted T Mac as well. People are like, he wasted.
Ugh.
But I don't think that
Let's be fair.
Orlando
T
team
Mac
is.
wasted T Mac.
Yeah,
I,
exactly. I
I
mean,
I
the
think
man
that's
could.
mean to
He
say.
goes to Houston and he still can't make it out of the first round with him and Yao. So, you know, so there's that. But then he goes to Boston. Years in Boston and I
What year
mean,
did he go in Boston?
let's see,
2006,
2004.
right?
2004,
2004.
you know, they had a winning record his first season, then a losing record, then an even worse losing record, and then they
Then
get
came the
KG,
trade.
yep, KG, Ray Allen, and all those guys, and then boom, suddenly winning record, winning record, winning record. Then you know, uh, and
Then went to LA.
he hasn't had a losing record since, but I mean, there's just
So to take it from there, when you're surrounded by the talent that he had in the Clipper land, and he's had superstars. It's ridiculous the amount of superstars that he's given. He's giving guys that were going to be top 10 in their positions throughout the end of time. KG, Allen, Paul Pierce this year. I'm not going to put him in there. Hell, it's not even fair to put Allen there, but I'm going to anyway because bias. But you look at LA, Chris Paul, he's going to be a top 10 point guard. I would fail.
yeah.
Blake Griffin was a number one overall pick, and then he had Paul George, Pandemic Pete, who you know what, earning a little bit of my respect with the way he's playing now without Kawhi, and then you had Kawhi, Mister like I won titles everywhere. I was the X Factor. What are your product of? But to bring it back to Doc Rivers, I feel bad for no coach. I feel no sympathy for any coach, and you cannot. And I felt like he was kind of putting the blame onto Ben Simmons because after they got eliminated, because unfortunately Ben passed up in a game seven. If he passed up in a game six, a game five, game four, game one, it'd be a different story. But when you have not one but multiple games where you have a 20-point lead and you lose it and you have this bad idea to not call timeouts, you deserve to lose. I don't feel bad for you. It's the same reason why I don't feel bad for Quinn Snyder
Wow.
in Utah because he had an 18-point lead or so
Mm-hmm.
against the Clippers, and they do it because they get scared. Because why? Coaches hate calling timeouts early in the game. They believe their teams will go from now. I'm like, yeah, you have 4 or 5. Screw it. You need to prep for the danger now
Yeah.
instead of holding out for the danger in the future. Because you know what, Francisco? I'm a cheap freaking coach. Because if I'm out of timeouts and I can't game plan people, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say foul them so they can go to the line so I can draft stuff up and tell your
So
guys in between.
yeah, I mean Utah. I mean, just go on a little bit about that series. So,
That's on them.
yeah, the number one team. Kawhi goes down, and
No Conley, but Conley is not Kawhi.
yeah, exactly, and so you're like, okay, all right, all right. You would think, oh, this should be fine. This should be fine, but they weren't ready for. I mean, was it
MVP.
that and the Clippers played small ball. They just went, all right, straight up shooters. Rudy Gobert can't be in two places at once. So
I don't think they were ready for Reggie Jackson to actually
yeah,
fulfill the potential that he's been leaving out for 8 years.
yeah, well, yeah, three home runs in one game, and you know he was doing that. So I know which Reggie Jackson you're talking about. So
Well, he was channeling Mr. October mode.
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah, Utah just did not adjust. at all to what the
And
Clippers
then
did after Kawhi went down.
and you would think that Doc would look around the league and be like, huh, they got 24 leads. I should do something about that too. But they're scared. They don't know how to coach. Someone has to lead. You can blame Ben Simmons all you want, and there is some blame there. The guy was shooting 34% free throws in the postseason. I think I can get to 37, and I'll be cheap. I'll take the league's minimum, please, because I'll get to the line and I'll get elbowed in the face real quickly.
Yeah, Lord.
But it comes down, and here's the thing: it's not like the Nets who maybe they could have won if Nash had like another 2 or 3 years coaching
Uh,
because he's still a rookie head coach.
right.
Doc's been in this game for 20 plus years almost.
Yeah.
So it's all on him. And I said it in the beginning.
Also, is
when they
Kyrie
hired
ever
him.
going to be healthy?
Kyrie's never going to be healthy. The same way as Joel's never going to be healthy.
Yeah.
The same way as no one's ever healthy. And part of the reason why no one's healthy is because of the fact that we got back into this too short. And now the playoff bubble is real, folks.
Yep.
And anybody who was talking trash about the Heat and the Lakers can do it DX and suck it. But I was right. Ha 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 ha. I remember we were doing our same thing. I'm like, they're frauds, they're phonies. I don't feel it, and I didn't feel it. I think we would have been fine even matching up with it. I know
NBA's
I said the same
gonna
about Milwaukee and Milwaukee Hot.
NBA's gonna walk this back, be like, our script didn't work out well when the guys were getting injured that weren't supposed to get injured. So let's add some more off days. You know what? We don't need 72 games in 5 months. No, we can just, or 4 months. I think that's basically, 4 or 5 months. We can let's stretch this out a little more. Make sure LeBron and Anthony Davis are nice and healthy.
Less back-to-backs. All these fun
Let's
things.
see what happens. Maybe we can help the Knicks out a little bit now that they made the playoffs. They're an actual team again. See if we can get that New York team. I think let's get New York versus LA. It'd be really nice if I could just walk down the street and watch a game. That's what Adam Silver's thinking.
So going into the future.
I'm looking at the stats here for Doc Rivers. There's an entire article by
good.
CBS Sports here. Let's see. We got, first off, all these turnovers that Philly was absolutely wow. The Sixers led the league in turnovers during the 27-18 season under Brett Brown. They improved slightly the following season and finished 25th with 14.9. Last season, they climbed all the way up to 10th, but then they dropped down to 21st under new head coach Doc Rivers. But Philly's looseness with the basketball came back to hurt them against Atlanta. 19 turnovers in game 1. 3 times as many turnovers as Atlanta. 12-4 in game 4. Of course, they lost that game too. Game 5, another loss. The Hawks won the turnover battle again. And then game 7, they committed 17 turnovers. Atlanta only 10. They won there. Sheesh, man. And then let's see. Wow. Let's see. Doc Rivers postseason failures. Look at this. Paul George criticized them for a lack of adjustments. That's exactly what we were saying. Doc was trying to play me as a Ray Allen or a JJ Redick. I can do it, but that ain't my game. I need some flow. I need some mixes of some pick and rolls and post ups. That last season was hard. Ooh. From playoff P.
What? He's shown up into it. Who's Tyronn Lue?
Tyronn Lue has earned a ton of respect this postseason. All right, because we everybody was like, LeBron, and LeBron was basically the coach, and he was just a puppet. Tyronn Lue might actually know how to coach.
Yeah,
because he made the adjustments against Utah.
Well.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the reason why Tyronn had the success and even Nash had the success is because they're closer from being removed from being active players compared to Doc? Because Doc was a point guard 30 freaking years ago, and you can only do so much in observation. And I feel like when you're still a player in today's generation, because Nash is still a player of this pseudo generation. I think the only difference that changed of it was
remember Steve Nash was part of that. Steve Nash was part of one of those teams that basically brought us into this era, that Phoenix Suns team. So he understands it from the foundational level because he was part of it. So he can coach a team like that. Tyronn Lue, the same thing, like you said. Remember, Allen Iverson was the one that was stepping over him on that shot. He knows exactly
what Doc.
When was the last time Doc Rivers played a game? Wow,
I
man.
think it was like 1980
I'm
something.
saying, hold on. I'll look it up, but you keep
Yeah,
going.
I'm gonna diatribe on this one because part of the problem in basketball and any sport is there
Let's see.
tends to
He
be a
played
lot of
until
guys.
96.
96, really? Why did I
96
think
played for the
80?
Hawks. That's funny.
Irony.
Played for the Clippers, the Knicks, and the Spurs. So there you go.
So
That was
that's the
him.
thing. Part of the problem in all professional sports, and Charles fixes an error saying that hey, 80 something. I'm thinking 96. There you go. But he probably wasn't even like starter level at that point. I don't know enough about Tiger as a player that happens.
He made it.
But
He made an All Star team in '88. So.
yeah, but that's where was he in his final brackets? Because 96, 95.
Oh, I mean '96.
I was
Hold on,
thinking, I was like, fuck, man, I was
1996.
6.
1996. He was with the Spurs. And I don't know if that was that season the Spurs that basically were awful, and then they got Tim Duncan.
Twin
So,
Towers?
so
Yeah,
there you go.
I think that was the following
Yeah, but either
year.
way, yeah.
But maybe he's a product of this whole good old boys club where just because you're a good coach, you get rotated around, you always have these job
I
opportunities.
mean,
'Cause you have to
exactly. I
think,
mean, look at Stan Van Gundy. He keeps
yeah, that
getting
was such a
jobs.
bad hire.
You
But New
know.
Orleans was smart enough to be like, nah,
Nah.
fam,
Exactly.
nah.
Oh, but Philly's paying him a lot of money. Philly
They
is
are,
paying
and
him a
that's
lot
and
of
that's the
money.
thing too. Okay, so with Doc, if you were gonna kind of be
Ooh.
stuck with that, um, you want to kind of like work into all means that is going to be helping you. But I said it in the very beginning that it was just going to. Yeah, he's supposed to
Ooh.
get you there, but you were already
5
there with Brett
years,
Bass.
$40 million. That's what Philly's paying him right now.
Oh
So year one
God!
is done. We got 4 more years left. How?
And that's
eh,
the thing. How are you going to blow it up? Because you got to a little bit.
I mean, yeah, they got to figure out a way to do. I mean, sheesh, you're in the Eastern Conference. It's doable to at least make the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You would think, but you can't with. I mean, look, I mean, Doc Rivers has gotten teams to the Eastern to their conference
He's
finals.
got to the NBA
Fine,
Finals.
fine. But I mean, this roster you can't with Ben Simmons. You just can't unless what, like you said, he goes and gets somebody to coach him up, or I don't know, sees a sports psychologist or whatever. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if he's still dating that one of those the Jenner chicks. Maybe he has to
Oof.
dump her because James Harden improved his career when he dumped one of those Kardashian chicks. That might be a thing.
James Harden improved his career by not eating chicken wings.
Yeah, and so something's got to be done because this Philly team.
No bueno.
No, I mean regular season, but a lot of teams,
So
as LeBron learned, regular season doesn't matter.
yeah,
Really doesn't.
and so what I would comment on, because the talking heads right now are loving this because it gives them for the news because it does what all the talking heads want.
Yeah, you bring in Charles Barkley, who was a former Sixer, to come in and just start being like, "Whoa, I mean, I can't believe you're in Philly and all this stuff. It was terrible," all that
Yeah, and
stuff.
then everybody talking about clean breaks because everybody's like, we need to get even Magic, and we love Magic. Magic's like, you need to trade and give it a clean break, and everybody forgets that $35 million
Well,
albatross of a
Magic
year
wasn't a great
contract.
executive, as we all remember. So,
I
you
don't
know,
know. But but the problem is that lemming links, man, they're just gonna follow the Pied Piper, and it's gonna lead them to the road and get ran over. But the only teams that could probably take Ben Simmons now, inheriting what he has, is the team who is young, have a crap ton of draft picks, and a whole bunch of money because they don't pay people. And who is that team I'm saying Ben Simmons would go to if they did trade him?
Sacramento.
Oh, no, that's just quit. Just go play back for Australia. You don't want that. You don't want that. I would say Oklahoma because
Yep.
whoever their coaches are, they're gonna be like, all right, we need a point guard who can kind of ball handle, but who can also shoot off ball. Who did they just acquire and trade for? Old ass Al Horford, who Brad Stevens looks me dead in my face and says, no, Horford's going to be a conditional piece of what we need. And I think he's going to be a good influence. I'm like, Al Horford's 35. I know he was playing good and everything like that, but if you were going to shed money to get rid of Kemba, maybe I'm just a Kemba guy, but if you're
Yeah.
going to shed money to get rid of Kemba, and you had to inherit a Horford trade, that's when you bring a three-man team into this. Because really, it's just like, hey, I flipped a first-round pick for Al Horford,
Right.
and that's like a terrible thing because we're not in 2009 anymore. Um, so you put into that with Shea, you put Kemba, Shea Giglius Alexander. I can never say the name properly. Maybe Lewing Dort. Try to hold on to him, even though he can increase his shooting, but he's very young, very productive. Or he will could be productive. And then you have Ben Simmons kind of floating in between. Not gonna be a 3D guy, but it can also confuse offenses if you have two primary ball
Yeah.
handlers and you can change the flow of the game. You want to know where we learned that from? Brooklyn this year, because it was supposed to be Kyrie, and then it went into Harden, and it flowed so much better.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it went to Durant for ISO. If anything, if you can't get Homeboy to shoot properly, teach him how to ISO and then post up and try to get to
But
the rim.
I don't think
Man.
Philly. Do you think Philly will be able to do that? Because
No, well, because Doc's philosophy isn't that.
Yeah.
You looked at it, and the great thing about this for us is
Like-
that we're not NBA professional experts, but we have at least endured 15 years of watching Doc Rivers coach. So you kind of know his style. Single man distributor, lobs, big man stuff, find the man open for three.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get growth because is it talking about maximizing the talent around you? Tell me, Francisco, is there a single superstar that was drafted under Doc Rivers' accord that became so much better?
I mean, Doc Rivers has never.
Because-
Doc Rivers, aside from
I
that,
won't
or
hear, maybe Blake.
That-
Blake itself,
yeah,
maybe because
yeah.
he became more of a spot up shooter. But is that because of Doc or is that because of Blake?
well, I think. Hold on. The way I'm thinking, I'm thinking about Doc Rivers' career, and I don't think he's ever been able to coach up a player for the most part. For the most part, I mean, let's see, we've got Orlando, but they traded for Tracy McGrady. We got Boston, but they traded for KG Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce was already there
I mean,
by the
I would
point.
say that his
And-
answer to that would be I got Rajon Rondo, but Rajon is basically all you want is a point first, pass first, productive guy.
And what I don't let's see. And Blake was already there when Doc Rivers got to the Clippers.
But I remember his game traded up a little bit because
Yeah.
I think they fired Vinny Del Negro I think after 1 or 2 seasons and then came in Doc because that's when they traded Chris.
Right, but either way, Blake was already there. It was
Correct.
and I don't know how much of Doc was coaching him up more than anything else when you got Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan on your team and stuff like that to help you out. So I don't know how much Doc actually coaches up players. I think for the most part, that Boston team in 2008, he managed them well enough. It's kind of, but once again, you got 3 Hall of Famers, so you that was the goal. So whereas everywhere else, I mean, Blake's not making the Hall of Fame, and really the only one he had was Chris Paul. But once again, enough talent to get there, to get to a Western Conference Finals, enough talent to at least have another shot at another title. Missed out that second time in Boston, and then petered. I mean, once again, the Celtics had their window was pretty open for quite a while, right? They were rubbing up against the Heat
For a 4-year window.
well, like from 2008 to 2013, because that's when the Heat beat them too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty long window in basketball. So, he had that. The Clippers, they had their window open too. Okay, they had the window open too. I mean, yeah, I know the Warriors came in, but the Warriors were challenged. All right, the Rockets were there; they were doing their thing. The Thunder were there as well. So it wasn't like they couldn't be able to do that. It wasn't that they didn't have the talent for it. So there's that. And now Philly. Philly with probably their best shot at making the NBA Finals right now. With Brooklyn gone, because I think that was probably their bigger of the challenges. So okay, then face off against Milwaukee and see what goes down. But now now it's like, wow, have the last 8-9 years of this process Has it all been a waste? Oh boy.
I love it.
Oh boy.
I love it. And why do I
And
think you
you're
love
in
it?
year one under this new coach. You're in year one already.
To leave my last reps on Philly because they'll be next season when we talk about it, but I'm done with them now in this sense is this. It's because the thing that you should thrive on as a fan base or as not a fan base, as an organization is your fans. And I think to subject your fans to the kind of losing purposefully, I don't think it's like Detroit because Detroit's gonna be a long rebuild, but they come out so openly about it to encourage tank. They got the first pick in the draft because rigged, because of course the worst team in the NBA got it, but they actually drafted two young guys um, last year. I forgot their names. I had it earlier today, but don't ask me to remember people's names if I can't recall. Right, where they had some interesting productions going from there, building into it. They're gonna. I didn't watch really a lot of college basketball this year, so I know there's that Camp kid, but I think that's his name. But I don't know fully to kind of say what the impacts would be. Basketball's weird too when you're drafting kids. Um, but with Philly, it's like they were like, we're gonna take these losses, we're gonna kind of go from there, and then we're going to just kind of, tell you to endure for not one, not two, but it was like 3 years, guys, because Embiid didn't play immediately,
Right.
Simmons didn't play immediately. They both tore their ACLs and their knees and everything like that, and then you're just kind of subjected to that ridiculousness, and you don't win. It's not like the Cleveland Browns, man, where you just suck but you have a loyal fan base. It's called basically like you suck because you're purposely trying to suck. Like I bring up the Browns as an example because they were our conversation last week about like, oh hey, who you should redact and not redact, but or contract from the thing. But Cleveland was like, we're going to tank. Whereas like they were just a product of like tanking by hiring incompetent coaches, Hugh Jackson, to go 0-16, 1-15, have all these guys bad draft picks, things like that. They were trying to make it fit. They understand the foundation. So that's what makes the team be like, you understand that you suck, but we love you. Same way if how you do with like the Oakland Athletics in baseball, where you're like, you have a very small window because your drafting was excellent, but we just can't pay these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Philly's like, we have money. They're owned by a sports
I
conglomerate.
mean, they're in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Every Philly
they
team
have
has money. Every Philly team
every
has money.
and then they're like, but we're gonna really kind of tank it. We're gonna collect all these draft picks,
Philly
and
ain't
none
a
of the
small
guys are
market.
there. And you know what's crazy, Francisco? If you say you kept everybody, let's change it up a little bit. You kept Carter Williams. You kept Fultz.
Mm-hmm.
You kept Embiid. You Cork Madness is there still. I think they have the Dario Saric guy who's not there anymore. I think he went elsewhere. Phoenix maybe. Or it was either Cork Madness left or Saric left because you got to remember there was more people in that draft because it wasn't just one lottery pick. It was several. They traded guys like Drew Holiday away, who's now in Milwaukee, might go in there. And then you kept Embiid. But if you're starting five, let's say all things relative. Let's say you kept to the process. If that five was literally um, Fultz, Simmons, Michael Carter Williams, Saric, and Embiid, that's not a good team, man, right? It's three guys who can't shoot. Saric, who I don't know if he's under or over, or if it's Cork Madness now that's kind of popped in. And I'm trying to remember if Michael Carter was pre-Hanky, but I think he was Hanky's thing because Michael Carter Williams was like 2014. And then you had Embiid. I'm like, that on paper's not good. So the process means nothing, not because you don't have those guys there, but two of those guys are barely in the league, barely healthy, and might be on the Guangdong Sharks overseas. Think on that. Crazy, man. Crazy. Whereas there's the Heat, we're like, we're going to pick Justice Winslow. But you know where we got Justice? Like number 12 in the draft. It's Precious Achua. Where do we get him? Lower in the round, in the first round, because of how successful we were in accumulating everything like that. Where do we get Bam? XYZ. Tyler? XYZ. I would rather that our mid-round non-lottery guys suck because you're always taking that chance. But these are guys that you're getting that first-round picks, third-round picks, not third-round picks, third picks in the first round, first picks in the first round, and it's amounting to nothing. What does that say about evaluation?
Mm.
And that's it. I got nothing else in the film. I'm good. That
Oh.
was Randy Marsh from the It Wasn't Me, It Was Ghost kind of thing, where it was just Scrooge.
Oh boy. Okay, so let's get a small one out of the way. I actually have a small segment for once in a while. So let's just go to. Let me see what we got here. Just a quick one. Gottlieb's Goons. because something came up that kind of weird on Marlon's Twitter. I run Marlon's history on there, so I am a semi-prominent member of Marlon's Twitter, because that's what happens when you get 1,000 followers. But that's fine. But one person, the Fish Army, who is also fun to follow if you're a Marlins fan, posted a Instagram story. He posted he recorded an Instagram story from Starling Marte of I don't know how. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's been made a big deal. So because it wasn't him, and I don't think I will even get anything. Yeah, no, and no. His Twitter account almost got suspended just for posting that. Because it's basically what happened was Starling Marte reposted. It wasn't him that was doing it. It was reposting a video, likely from the Dominican Republic, because that's where he's from, of some dudes who zip tied a rat to a firework, a rocket, and then shot it up into the air, and it probably exploded and died. So that was what was going on, and I was like, at first I didn't really notice. I was like, oh no way, this man actually did that on because it was an off day for the Marlins, and the Marlins were coming back to Miami. So I'm like, oh, they're probably here, unlike at McDonald's, where they surely don't have rats in the meat. At least I can't say.
It's marinated.
Oh, I found a.
Aged in sweet chili sauce.
Oh, we're gonna lose sponsorships. They better not hear this.
Listen, I love your McChickens. 2 McChickens and a small fry. Bring back the buffalo spicy McChickens. I'm so happy.
So, no, one of the things that I was looking around for was because somebody was tweeting something. There was like a rat. I was trying to find like a rat GIF about something about Starling Marte, because the Marlins. He's a free agent after the season, and he's very valuable, and the Marlins would love to have him stay. And I was trying to find a poignant rat GIF to respond to something about that, but I couldn't find one. But apparently, there's a lot of GIFs about showing people diving into a pool with the caption being rats, what rats be like jumping into the deep fryer at KFC. So something tells me that a lot of KFCs might have this issue, which I don't know, but
dude, it's so good even animals want to eat it. That's why it's finger looking good. Rub that finger.
It's that nice
Bro,
little.
Master Splinter.
That was
doesn't like
well. That's
pizza.
one of the
Master
11
Splinter
herbs.
likes
It's one of
KFC.
the 11 herbs and spices. It's a mystery. It could be
Francisco,
rat.
I will walk off the show. You do not insult. You do not insult the current in my presence.
Okay, so yeah, he reposted that, and some people were offended by it, and then eventually it turned into this other guy named Takes Were Made. He's also a Marlins fan, South Florida sports fan, and he talked about how he used to be Chuck E. Cheese at Chuck E. Cheese. And he literally posted a video of him dancing in the costume as Chuck E. Cheese, and suddenly there were a bunch of very very sexual posts about Chuck E. Cheese.
What the hell?
The old costume Chuck E. Cheese, by the way, the OG. It got kind of weird. It got funny at the same time. And I'm like, that was an interesting day in Marlins Twitter history. But just the Gottlieb's goons to Tony Marte for reposting that. Latin American players, apparently it's a thing. They repost a lot of animal cruelty, and it's a thing for Latin America because Latin Americans, and I could say this because I am Latin American, so don't really care about animals that much, regardless if it's a rat or whatever. I mean, it's innocent little rat, whatever, man. Jeez, I know people kill them and stuff, but don't do it humanely.
I mean,
if you can. Do it humanely.
I mean, he probably read that whoever he was like, oh, rats spread the plague. We're in the
Yeah,
COVID.
or maybe he was trying to pull Scott Mellenby. And he's like, he killed a rat, and suddenly the Florida Panthers went to the Stanley Cup Finals. So maybe if I blow up this rat, well, remember he did not blow up the rat; it was a repost.
Allegedly.
Uh, no. You could tell. You could tell, like by the surrounding area. There's no way that man lives in that kind of a crap hole that rat was shot from in Miami, especially with the money he makes. So no. It was a repost. I gotta state that just in case Starling Marte is listening to this for some reason and not playing
Yeah.
baseball because the Marlins are losing 2-0 to the
Well,
Blue Jays.
you know what? You can say that. I'm gonna not rub on his nuts for 2 seconds, bro. What the hell are you doing, rubbing like let's show a video on Instagram of a rat getting blown.
But then he'll sign with the Yankees, and you'll be like, "Hey, Marte."
I mean, look, I'm not saying I have morals. I'm gonna talk smack about you. That's part of being a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than being the Boston Red Sox, who Alex Cora basically dishonored everything. But I mean, come on, we're not about animal cruelty. And I know it's rats, but they still exist in the world. Because
and some people actually keep them as pets, so
And I'm going to say something. I'm going to say it now, and this is going to be pure conjecture and speculation, but I have to do the fake outrage because someone has to. I still think of the kids. Starling Marte, if he put it on there, is because he probably thought it was funny or humorous.
Oh yeah, no. There was a little laugh
spade
emoji and all
it.
that stuff. I mean, he thought it was funny, and I'm like, Latin America. Yeah, this is.
But I think that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to say it's inconsequential, unfortunately, but that's the cynic in me where I'm like, it's inconsequential. But is he a goon? Yeah, of course, because the younger you are, the famous you are. I think, unfortunately, not to be in that position, but we can't all take the Charles Barkley and be like, I'm no, I'm going to do my voice. I'm no role model to these kids kind of thing. I mean, that sounds more Shaq than Chuck, but, I don't know. But that's like my mindset or my thought process.
I think I did a bit of Charles Barkley. I did a bit of Chuck.
Yeah, you did it for me. I got the Shaq thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to study Papa Jones.
So.
Oh, man, we could do our own Inside the NBA. Can we? Oh, my God, that should be a parody podcast. Yeah. You do Chuck, I do Chuck. You said, I'll go knock your ass out because I'm as good as movie ever made.
Yeah, man.
Guys, we have an idea here. We have an idea, and I am like more about this than my actual work in life.
Andrew could be Ernie, and then I don't know who. Could
oh
play.
my God!
I don't know who
would be the most.
We'd have to get a
Ernie.
guest to play Kenny. Maybe Doug can play. I don't know if Doug can do a Kenny, but we'll see.
Kenny's very hard to do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, maybe.
Oh man.
Let me. We created a monster here. Wouldn't you want to listen to a parody podcast now? I would.
I would love to script it out a little bit, but then because obviously they're just off the. Oh man. Okay, so that's it for Golly's
That's a good
Goons.
goon. That's a good goon.
Yeah, it's the only one that I have. Aside from
I have one,
okay.
but I don't know if it's a goon or if he's just my hero. But I'm gonna let you decide.
Okay.
So, Joe Girardi is in part a goon and in part not a goon. So he's the first ever bro goon, because the goon part of it is, as you kids know, what we have now is every pitcher is basically going to be inspected by every manager when they're feeling
this
petty.
has been fun.
I thought it was just going to be like
day 2 and it's been fun.
It's just been great. I thought it was just going to be a start or beginning the innings. Because there's a difference between rules and practice. I didn't know that managers could have the huevos to just go and be like, oh, I want him inspected now. I didn't check him in the first inning, because to me it should be the first inning you should do it, and then your last inning played, and the rest of it you take it, because we're trying to slow up baseball. We're trying to speed up baseball. We're not trying to slow it. But not once, not twice, but 3 times, a lady that is Joe Girardi, my former Yankee player, my former Yankee manager, who got us our last World Series, basically was trying to get, of all people, Max Scherzer, who is a 3-time Cy Young winner. I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's always I feel. But then Joe Girardi gets injected in a game by coming out to talk smack to Max Scherzer. So you're kind of a goon for just you are the prime example of how bad of an idea it was for this policy to come in, and if all people accusing Max Scherzer. Here's the thing, man. You did it so many times.
3 times.
Scherzer. It's definitely not like Trevor Bauer. We're like, hey man, I would question that.
Oh yeah.
Even my boy Garrett Cole, who, listen, he snake pitted it, but granted, he's good without it now. I don't care. but you're doing this to him. Come on, man. But then you're a bro. When you really, I didn't know Joe Girardi was that jacked.
Oh yeah. Oh,
He's coming to 50 something.
you know, yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
He ain't looking like freaking Charlie Manuel, man.
No.
He ain't looking like Sweet Lou Pinella. He's looking like, he's gonna take your daughter to prom if she's 18, bro. Joe Girardi's gonna sue us, but he'll do that. Joe Girardi looks like he's the guy that'll steal your wife at the gym, bro. Be careful, Max. So part of it a goon, part of it a bra, man, and I loved it and I hated it. I hate the rule. The way now that I'm seeing it in place, like I get the idea that you should to a degree haven't even played for, but I think there's a simplicity to it. Start of the inning, end of the inning, when you're done the mound, you just go wherever, and MLB just has some other secondary.
I don't know. I don't get what. Okay, I don't understand, and I guess this is goons to Major League Baseball too, because hey, why not? Right?
Who's our eternal goon?
What? Oh yeah, Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred. Yeah. So
always a goon.
I don't know why. Okay, doesn't Major League Baseball, like the NHL? NHL has their employees at every single arena, right? You have the guys who are keeping watch of the time of the time and of the goals behind. It's not just the refs. It's not just the refs and linesmen. It's a crew of people that live at the place where the NHL team is at, and they're neutral, and then they just officiate the game that way. Administratively. I don't get why Major League Baseball doesn't do the same thing with have your unbiased inspectors, okay? Major League inspectors that, I don't know, one in each dugout, I have no idea, or they do a sweep of the dugouts before the games. They check the pitchers before they go out to play, to start the game, make sure you have one in the bullpen as well for each team. And you run to that. Just hire 4 or 5 guys just to do that.
I know this with how quickly they made these implications a month and change into the season.
Right.
So it was not thought out. What happened was, how do we?
And if it wasn't thought out,
conspiracy theory.
This is entertaining for sure.
Oh yeah,
this is absolutely entertaining.
Pretty soon you're just gonna see Dusty Baker just kind of squared up with Garrett Cole.
Did you see Sergio Romo?
Oh yeah.
Did you see Sergio Romo?
You want more intimate, less intimate at the TSA, guys, than in baseball.
Sergio Romo was literally he's like, oh, me? Okay. And he just threw his glove onto the ground, threw his hat, and then took off his belt, and then showed off a little bit of underneath his pants. Just a little bit.
All you had to do was just play Genuine's Pony. And we had ourselves a damn good time, man.
And then you had Yu Darvish, who was very polite in Japanese while doing it, there we go. That's the way he did it. Okay, so there's that. Oh, but it's been entertaining. But yeah, much like
it's gonna get old real fast.
Oh yeah, it will. And much like anything with Major League Baseball, they didn't think it through. So
what cracks me up? The first pitcher inspector on this was Jake DeGrom, because his ERA is .50, bud. With hitters in position. 0.51, and of course he's the first guy that someone had a chance at. Love it.
Yeah. Yep. Oh boy, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. But
I can't. We got to get Andrew's take on it for next week. Let's kind of remind it, because Andrew strikes me as the purist. Of the idea when it comes to sports, the integrity of the sports, the
there's any integrity in baseball. Come on now.
But I think the three of us just have we've been doing this show together for 3 years. Whereas me, I'm eat the rich mentality sometimes, or we need complete chaos and rejuvenation. Let's have fun with this. And sometimes you're of the mind of me. But I also love Andrew's thing, because I think he's this is effing stupid. So it's that kind of behavior that always throws up for me that I enjoy thoroughly with him. Because Andrew loves his baseball, he loves his pitching, and he loves his Tyler Glasnow, who's doing trash this year, by the way.
Yeah. The Rays the Rays have kind of been slipping a little bit lately. So, but now he's got his Wander guy, Wander Franco.
Yeah. Wander.
But they keep losing.
And then there's the Yanks just screwing up to the Royals because we don't have any holders. But that's we're coming close, man. It's close enough. I'm I can't deal. I'm 31 years old, Francisco. My heart can't go. We're down 2-0 to the Royals. We
Yeah.
all, but bro, we had the lead yesterday, and then Lozega just messed it up. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm 31. I'm gonna be 32 soon.
Oh man.
My blood pressure, my heart. I'm not trying to make it to 60, kids. I'm not even trying to make it to 50. To be perfectly honest with you. 40 though. I want to make it to 40, and
Mm.
then the Yankees middle of the rotation lineup is really depriving me of that opportunity.
The Marlins' lack of offense
Oh,
is.
you must be feeling worse.
I don't know how many one-run losses we have this season,
Trevor
but
Rogers
we
and Sandy Alcantara have
we
been. I would love to have one of
we
them.
have a big three. We literally have a big three, in Alcantara, in Trevor Rogers, who is going to be the rookie of the year if he keeps playing like this,
Hands
and
down.
Pablo Lopez. We have a big three. We have possibly a big five if Sixto Sanchez can ever stop posting his his bling on Instagram and actually rehab for once. Um, and some other guys, Elias Hernandez or Edward Cabrera, who might be ready to go at some point. The Marlins have pitching; they have it right there. We just need hitting, and we have some in the minor leagues, but they're not coming up. And the Marlins are kind of weird, where it's like they will literally not score any runs, and it doesn't matter where. Before the excuse was, well, Marlins Park is way too massive, and we keep telling our Lord and Savior to bring in the fences just a tiny bit more, lower them a little bit, but they like what they've got so far, and then you got now it's like it's both there. I think we have an awful record on the road, so it's basically we can't hit anywhere,
Well,
and
our good friend Jeremy Taché, who is on there for Swings and Misses and is there for Bally Sports, I was reading the record is that you guys are like 5-11 or 5-16 in one-run games,
oh yeah,
maybe
yeah,
even
it
higher.
is
And I'm
it
like,
is awful.
and I don't think people understand what that means when you're saying, with that's saying that your pitching was so good and your team still has to take the L
And
because you just can't score. It's
mind
the
you,
Mets 2 years ago.
these are like it's not like one run games where it's like okay, you're playing in Colorado and you're losing, you're losing 9-8 or whatever. No, no, these are one run games where it's like it's 3-2, it's 2-1. It's 1-0. Where we literally had Sandy Alcantara throw a complete game, and he
Was that
lost
against the
in the
Cardinals?
ninth inning against the Cardinals. Yadier
I
Molina with a
watched that.
walk off,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was 1-0. I
I'm
mean,
so done with
what
Yadier
more?
Molina.
What more could you do? What more could you do? So, and then they go to Wrigley to play the Cubs, and they win the first two games by scoring basically like 22 runs in the first two games, like winning 10-0, and then like 12-1 the next game, and then promptly losing the next night. So I don't know what's going on. They've been like this. They've had these just massive offensive blow ups where it's like, oh wow, I guess they can hit, and then they don't spread it around. I don't know why.
What that probably means is that it's when they're going against a 4-5 pitcher. That's my own, I guess, because that's how we're kind of like the same way lately. Because we've woken up and then we kind of die out. But anytime we kind of go against an ace, I can't recall us being able to destroy an ace since
No,
Zach Greinke
I
and
think the
Houston.
Marlins got, I don't know who's the best pitcher with the Cubs, Hendricks or whatever, Kyle.
Is it Kyle?
Yeah,
Probably Kyle.
yeah. I think we got one on him. So I don't think the Marlins. I don't think it's just that. I think it's just the
Just
offense. When it's on, and when it's off, everybody's off. It doesn't matter if we got Rat Rocket Man or Miguel Rojas or Jazz. It's just okay,
Jazz
whatever.
is impressive though.
Oh, I
Because in the
love
few
Jazz.
games I've
Everybody
seen from the
loves Jazz.
Marlins, I'm
All
like,
right.
yeah,
I mean, this is essentially his rookie season too. So, but yeah, yeah. Okay, Gottlieb's Goons, done, and let's on over to a word from our non-sponsors, people, places, things, contests, what have you been enjoying over the past week. So, Charles, you have anything to start out? I started out last time, but I can start out again if you want me to.
I'm gonna give two. I'm gonna give two
All right.
because you had one for Andrew when he wasn't there, and I'll be the one who gives for Andrew here. But so, and I hate to do it, but we're gonna have to double sponsor it. You mentioned them last week. So when Francisco played Satan in my Adam and Eve
Oh,
garden and
like
telling
a
me to
smelter.
eat the forbidden fruit, and I was warned not to, like in Smelter, Eve, angry, go into paradise, go and kill people. Um, not like that play video game was. He's like, oh yeah, Burger King has this chicken and it was really good. I'm like, oh, Burger King, I don't like it. The only thing I liked from Burger King from their chicken stuff was very plain and simple. I think everybody liked their chicken fries. It's a weird component that we all love. But he's like, oh no, it's really good. I was like, okay, so I'll try it. So I went last Wednesday or Thursday, and I had the um, spicy chicken sandwich. And what I ate should not have tasted that good for fast food. What I ate should basically be kind of like what it felt like a mom and pop shop. What I ate was so good that I had a gyro for dinner today before I went on the show. I'm thinking about getting that chicken sandwich. Because, yes, they have the regular chicken, they have the deluxe chicken, and they have the whatever. But I was there and I was waiting, like, okay, what do you have this? And then out, because you hadn't had a spicy chicken sandwich. And I had it. And when I saw it, I'm salivating right now, Francisco. And when I saw it, was just this dunked. And when I say dunked, I'm talking about like poster. I'm talking about Shaquille O'Neal dunked chicken and nice saucy, spicy buffalo barbecue sauce, whatever you call it. Deliciousness. Which has a pickle. They even asked me if I wanted cheese, but I was good, guys. I didn't have the cheese, but boy, should I have got it. And it is big, and it was crispy but tender. Not crispy that it would hurt my teeth. It was succulent. It was airy. It was fantastic. Even the bun was a little buttered. For $8? What? There are places that will rip you off and say that's for 12. Have you been to BJ's Brewhouse? Have you been to Matchbox? Kids, there's all these other places. I'm sure there's other, not Matchbox. I'm thinking down at Sunrise. There's another place. Come on, you live closer there. Anyway, all these establishments that would charge you like $12, $13 for it. And I got that at my Burger King for $8.99. I even had the fries. I didn't care. It was so good. I loved it. Francisco, you had it, right? The spicy one? What is it that you feel about that spicy? Because
Okay.
I'm sponsoring Burger King spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh yeah. So okay.
It's going to be a double team. It's a double dip.
So,
and that's the promo code, kids. Double dip.
oh yeah. So I had this. Okay, I had the chicken 5 days in a row.
Buddy. Buddy.
I had it 5 days in a row. I looked after day 3, which is day 3 was when I finally tried the spicy one. I was just looking for an excuse to go get it each time, and so let's see. I got. Oh no, was it 5 or was it 6? I'm not sure now.
Francisco, buddy. Is it because the and also at Burger King, because it's still Pride Month, if you eat and order their chicken, they donate. So that we're just doing our due service.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, if you order like online or on their app, you can get a free Whopper with it. So
no, man, listen, there's excessive even for me. All right, bud.
You can get a free Whopper with it. I'm just telling you. So, anyways, yeah, Burger King's just trying to give Whoppers away at this point. So like I finally tried the spicy one on day 3, and I went to a Burger King that is close to my job, and I consider it a bad Burger King. And me and Andrew.
So you're going to different Burger King so they don't judge you, right? Because that's what I'm hearing.
No. I this is the. Let's see. The first two. The first time was at a West Palm Beach Burger King, which is actually a really good Burger King next to the post office, the main post office over there. Anyways, next to the airport. And then I went to the second one at the Bag Burger King, but even they couldn't mess up the regular chicken on that day. Then I went to get the spicy one at the Bad Burger King, and they didn't mess that one up either. Because what I tried, well, when I first opened it, it looked like a crime scene because there was just blood all over the place from that sauce. But I was like, this is enticing. I'm starting to like salivate. I'm like, and I started realizing, oh, it's the sauce that's spicy. It ain't the chicken, which is like what they do at Wendy's, where it's the breaded chicken that's actually spicy. No, it's the sauce. And I'm like, oh, I can regulate the amount of heat that I want, with regards to this. And so I tried that, and I'm like, it's 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 not that spicy, compared to whatever you can get someplace else, but it's got enough of a kick to it.
It's got a flavor.
It's got enough of a kick. It's got that it's nice, sweet and tangy type of flavor to it.
Yard
And
House. That's the place I was thinking of the chicken sandwich.
Yard House. Yep, yeah, where everything's expensive. And then the aftermath where I'm just like, because that's if I get the Wendy's one,
Done.
like I'll be back in about an hour and a half sitting on a toilet. Whereas the Chiking, no, nothing happened. Normal bowel movements continued the next day. No, no. So I'm like, oh, but I ate the regular deluxe the next few days.
Oh, buddy, no.
The next few days, and then I had to stop because I realized that I had a problem. Because I should not be that much of a fan of a chicken sandwich, but I have been with the spicy chicken and some of that subliminal, or that actually not subliminal, that blatant advertising, because they advertise behind the pitcher's mound at Marlins Park. Because
Buddy, this is terrible. Our sponsor is McDonald's, and we are not advocating for them
I
at all.
just realized that we've been talking about Wendy's and Burger King.
I mean, okay, so
I would
McDonald's-
love if
wait,
a
wait.
McDonald's ad just popped up right now, because we've been
We're
getting
putting-
that and Smelter at the same time.
Putting it on the record. On the record. McDonald's, for sponsoring us, if you sponsor us for next week's show, I will have your new spicy chicken crispy sandwich.
Yeah, and I will probably not try your BTS meal because I won't. But y'all can try it out. That's fine. Play Eve online,
Ready, well, then do
order
it.
some takeout, or go by the drive-thru, or get it delivered from Actually, oh man, this is a bad sponsorship for McDonald's, because I'm like, they are way too expensive on the delivery apps. So never mind.
Listen, you know what? Go drive. Go see nature,
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
Go to your drive.
go pay Ronald McDonald.
McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah, go donate to the Ronald McDonald House for the quarter that you don't need.
Oh
Enough of
boy.
excuses, but it's just so good. So my sponsor, I guess, because I never fully said, it's not necessarily Burger King. It's a spicy chicken sandwich from Burger King.
Yeah.
Like the artist formerly known as Prince. Promo code Double Dip, because man, I want to double dip that. You just keep doing repeat offender.
Yeah.
You're
No,
repeat
it was
offender,
bad.
you know,
It was really bad. I can't go back for like another month. So
because they're gonna the poor cashiers are like, sir,
yeah.
you need
There's a
welfare
photo
check?"
of me at the wall, on the wall. Well, luckily, no, I found a good Burger King before I went back to my parents' house before I left Miami. So I did find a good Burger King in Miami, and so far I've only eaten there once. So they don't know me yet, and luckily I won't be going there anytime soon. So by the time I relapse next month, they still won't know me, and it'll be nice and fresh. So there you go. Okay. So my non-sponsor. Let's go. So let's see. Lately, I've been all spiritual and whatnot, and mindfulness and all this other stuff. I've been meditating. I've been doing a lot of crap. All right, a lot of things to kind of help myself. So
Chicken soup for the soul.
yeah. So I actually did a thing that Charles told me to do, and it's like, you should read more. And I'm like, reading? Reading's for nerds. So as I'm, even though gosh, man, this is a guy who is just now selling his Sonic the Hedgehog plushes. So regardless, I was like, I don't read, man. Gosh, man, I wasn't with was it LeVar Burton? Was it
Reading
reading? I didn't.
I can fly.
No.
Oh, so high.
No. So get away from me, LeVar. Just get away from me. All right? I'm not about reading. But I started to I bought a book, Charles. An actual physical book that I can smell and touch. I'm touching it right now. I'm spanking it in the back. If somebody's coming in out of context, whatever, man. All right? So, this is the book that I let's see if I can get on our Overlords at Amazon and see the actual version of this. But it's basically Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
A good recommendation.
Yes, a very good start for anybody that wants to know about a little bit about stoicism, a little bit about the human experience. Hey, man, Marcus Aurelius, he was the emperor of Rome. Went through plagues and wars and lots of trials. His wife cheated on him. You know, like he went through some crap, and he was the emperor of Rome. So even he went through trials and tribulations, but he tried to persevere. He didn't let the position go to his head. I can't find the specific one that I actually got, but there's various different kinds that you can find here. So it's you can find the version of meditations that's right for you. Luckily Amazon has like the previews and stuff, so you can check out which one that you like. But my particular one is basically an annotated version, which kind of gives you nice historical context before you start it. Gives you a lot of footnotes to make sure that you understand what the heck Marcus was talking about, because there's some Roman stuff in there that you might not know. I'm actually going to read this one, Ikigai. I actually got this one too. But somebody sent that one to me and I printed it out. So there you go. So that one I'm going to read next. But yeah, man, there's a lot of cool little insights into how to deal with life. It's basically a journal about he wrote. Didn't expect anybody to read. He was just like for himself, and then he died. And he was the emperor of Rome. So like, let's preserve his important works and stuff like that. So that's how it survived all these centuries till today. But there's a lot of stuff that you can use for your day-to-day life. A lot of little advice there that you can follow, and try and live a better life. Live a better deal with everyday life, as we all are trying to do, and as Mark is trying to do. So, yeah. So Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. That's what I've been reading. I think anybody who's trying to get into mindfulness or stoicism or anything like that, give that a read. A lot of people have read that. A lot of famous people have read that. A lot of world leaders and such have read this book. And yeah,
Charles has it in his room now as we speak. It's a good bathroom book, kids.
Yeah.
When you have to charge your phone and you're kind of feeling the after effects of your spicy chicken sandwich.
Hey man, no after effects for me.
Have a strong constitution. Well, people are weaker than us. It happens.
Yeah, I read this. Actually, there's the version that I had. That's because I took off the paper cover in front of it, but that's the version that I have, the annotated edition. All right, $22. I got the hardcover there. I actually wanted a physical book this time because I feel like if I got the Kindle version, it just kind of gave me an excuse not to read it because it's in my phone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the issue there, but I'm already on page 208. I'm on notebook number 9. I'm almost done. He's only got 12 of them, so I'm almost done with it. I might have to reread it, and a lot of people have made notes in it and stuff like that. There's some books you got to reread
every couple of years.
Yeah.
You read it every couple of years, or you read it when you have like a big endeavor in your life. Doesn't mean negative or bad. If you have an idea about changes or how to reflect wartime situations.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah,
you're not as pretentious if you read that versus The Prince, which I also have too. But I feel like everybody's kind of like pretentious and like, oh, I read Machiavelli. No, you just know the word Machiavelli.
No. Yeah.
Which is not Macarena.
That ain't me. So yeah. Promo code Memento Mori.
Oh God.
I've been going pretty weird with my last promo codes. Last week was Limp Dick.
I forgot what led us to that, and I know we were laughing about it.
I was talking about the sogginess of the chicken sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This is what happens when Andrew's not here.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was my non-sponsor. There you go.
All right, and I'll give one final one
here we go.
to make it into 3, and I'll make it very quick. So I finally beat it, so I'll talk about it. Star Wars Squadrons, free on the PS Plus right now. I liked it. It's basically aerial dogfighting. Me and my father, when we were younger, used to play on the PS2, a lot of Ace Combat. And apparently they made Ace Combat 7, but those things are fast. I like Star Wars. I like dogfighting. It was one of the things I enjoyed in the Battlefront 1 and 2 games that they had that came out recently for the PlayStation. EA motivated. I know we always say EA is a bad guy. That's Francisco and Andrew. Charles says, if you make a fun game that I want to play and it's good, I have no gripes with it. I don't care. I'm just not the dumb person who goes and buys all that DLC for cosmetics anyway, especially if you're in first person mode. Why are you buying skins? You can't even see it. Man, so you can look cool to others. Get over yourself. But dogfighting. I haven't played the multiplayer yet because they had the single player component and the multiplayer component. As you guys know, I'm trying to get through my backlog. 14 missions, main missions in the game. I actually like the characters that they have. Going from there, you can play as both the Empire and then the New Republic's people. Good back and forth, good kind of combat. Kind of enjoying to kind of be chasing somebody and want to kind of blow them down, especially if they're evading you. Story is kind of it's like a side story. It's fine. It's well written, I guess. It's not anything that's going to blow your pants off, but it's enjoyable for what it's worth. I would say the single player was a good 7.5 for me, which is a good score. I bought that for Black Friday last November for $15. Of course, to my disheartening was the fact that it was free on PS Plus because it always seems to happen to me because I have such a backlog. But I think it looks pretty. I think the mechanics are pretty good. I gotta at some point find the time to do the multiplayer with it because I think that'd be good if I'm listening to any of my audiobooks. I can't do it during the show because anytime if I'm doing multiplayer during the show, especially if it's a two-man show, I have to give at least 80% of my attention here. Right now, I got an old game in the background here as we're playing Arms for the Switch in 2017. I don't think you ever played it. I liked it. I was just like, what do I want to do? And I was gonna try the Octopath Traveler prologue, but I was like, nah, you know what? I was like 50 minutes into it, and the first half of the show I was like, yeah. But Star Wars Squadron's fun. I think it's worth the download for anybody that's on the PS Plus. I know it's on the Game Pass, I believe, for Xbox. Play it online. I think it does crossplay too. So if you have friends who are doing generational stuff, it's great.
On
I think
PC.
it's a good time. It's not going to be for everybody, but you have to know what you're getting into here. Do you like aerial combat assault? If yes, yeah. Do you like Star Wars? Yeah. So I enjoy it. For me, promo code. We'll make it tied to the game. Promo code Starhawk.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I've heard the game's really fun in VR
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, I think those kind of games would be perfect. I never got into virtual reality because one, glasses, and then two, look, man, I don't need to get nauseous. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's gonna happen. I can't even do the zipper anymore when it's on the fair time. The one that you're in the thing and just fumbling around. Last time I tried that, I was about to puke. It was, no fun.
Okay, so yeah, and let's say yeah, I've been Hyrule Warriors Age of
Expansion,
Calamity
baby.
DLC came out, and I played through that, but it's not that great.
Nintendo can't seem to do DLC right,
Well, I
right?
mean, this one is yeah, it's just been like I think the initial like okay, you got initial few missions and stuff. They've added some more missions, which is pretty cool. They added some the Master Cycle to Zelda, and Link's got a new weapon. But then it gets way too grindy for some of the stuff, like to unlock some of the other things, and it's just more of like upgraded versions of those weapons and things like that. So I'm like, I guess the next update is really like the good one that they're gonna have
The,
later this year.
the meat
So
and potatoes of it all.
I would hope so. Yeah, it looks like they'll have more like actual missions. I don't know if there's an alternate storyline or something like that, but either way, like this one's kind of been like, oh, it's okay. So I if you're waiting for it, I'd wait for it. It's not necessary to play it right now, so that's fine. I'm playing Doom Eternals, the Ancient Gods DLC right now on the Switch. I'm playing so I'm playing through that. It's been actually more challenging, and I play on the easiest mode, so and I've died a few times already, so it's actually a lot more challenging. But it's still fun. It's still Doom, so it kind of you die and you just want to keep going. So that's been a more enjoyable experience. So I'll go from there, and I'll see what happens when I feel like playing later. Not sure what'll be
Yeah, I got to
next.
decide what to start as my new single player, and I don't have that. I might finally do Pokemon Sword or Shield.
Yeah, I might just Pokemon you'll blast through. That'll be. I felt it was way too easy, so you'll blast through that one. And
It's also a good game to play during the show
oh
because
yeah, no, it's
there's
perfect.
no story.
That's perfect. Yeah, you just kind of run into Pokemon, you walk, run into more Pokemon, you walk again. So then then I'm not sure what I'm gonna go with next. I'm thinking something on my actual PC, so I can sit down and play something when I get home
Yeah.
from
Ever do
work and all that
Arkham
stuff.
Knight?
I haven't yet, but I don't know if I want to make that time commitment. I'd like maybe something in the 10-hour range. I don't know, or something a little different out of my normal comfort zone with regards to gaming. So not sure.
Maybe you could do Squadrons. It's only like 11, 12
I'm
hours.
not spending money. That's the thing. I can't. I can't spend money. So I'll just wait and see. I'll figure it out. Anyways, and I got Operation Flashpoint just now for free. So that just oh, and I got Control. I might play that. I got
Yo,
Control.
yo,
I know you
yeah.
played that.
Oh yeah, I got the DLC for it too. That's when the
Oh,
ultimate. I
oh
literally
wow.
bought.
Charles bought the DLC. That means it's good.
So what happened was with the DLC, Ross for Christmas gave me like a PSN card, and then the DLC went on sale for like $8. I'm like, yeah, I gotta buy this. And then what happens the following month? The Ultimate Edition of Control was for free. I'm like, son of a bitch, you know. So upset. I will tell you now though, it's definitely a next gen game or a high end PC because it's such a technical, you know, I don't want to call it master, a technical worker because there's a lot of stuff going on that for the PC will probably run a little bit smoother. Like whenever I get my PS5 next year or whatever, I'll replay everything on that so it can be less buggy.
Mm.
But it's a good game. If you got Control, you know, I think I put that as
Yeah.
a sponsor.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. So actually, I might play that. Because I've heard good things and stuff like that. Man, and I was hoping one of the Hitman games because I had a coupon for the Epic Game Store. I was hoping one of the Hitman games would be. But
Yeah, I have
'cause,
Hitman 1 for free.
yeah, I was trying to get because I've seen the gameplays. I'm like that kind of feels fun, little MGSy a little bit to me. So okay, let's see. Moving on. I guess I can give a score update here. Milwaukee and Atlanta has started. So there you go.
Who do you want to win there?
Oh man, I'm actually the Atlanta Hawks are the only Atlanta team that I wouldn't mind actually winning something, because it's, I like their team. I like what they're doing.
They
It's
have three great studs.
as much as
Like
I don't
Collins.
mind the Bucks either. I don't. I don't mind.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
Giannis.
over my pettiness.
Yeah,
I agree with it.
I think they're more likable of those three teams between Philly and Brooklyn.
Well, they're Wisconsin's last hope because
Yeah.
if Aaron Rodgers leaves there, then
Yeah.
y'all gonna have to love Giannis because not you're gonna have to love Jordan Love. I don't see that happening.
Mm. Yeah. Well, yeah, and then the Brewers are the Brewers. They'll find a way to mess it up. Let's see. Oh, the Islanders and the Lightning. It is 0-0 right now so far in the first. So Andrew's probably watching that at the moment. Let's see. Baseball. San Fran and Los Angeles of Anaheim. I don't care. Houston is up 7-0 on the Baltimore Orioles. Nah. Hey, 2-2 between the Yanks and the Royals. And the Royals have bases loaded with 2 outs. Let's see if you guys can get out of that. The Mets keep winning, which is kind of annoying to see now that they have actual competent ownership. It's 5-0 over Atlanta. The Rays are actually beating the Red Sox, so there you go,
I'll
5-1. The Marlins are still
Because they lost. They lost last night, so
Yeah.
if they win today, it kind of keeps everything even keel.
Yep, and then the Marlins are still. It's too. I mean, they're not going to win this game. 2-0 already. That's way too much. Too much of a deficit to overcome.
You're like 1 run's bad enough as it is.
Exactly. The A's and the Rangers, I don't care. And the White Sox beat
Can
the
Oakland
Pirates.
stop? They're the only team I see that's always on like 10-0, like win losses going on the
Yeah.
last 10 games.
I know.
And then they lose like 1 and they go on 9, but yet Houston's still behind them,
Yep. And then
like right on their heels.
that's all I see on the score thing, but then
That's what I got.
there's other games. But anyways, so let's see. Aside from that, I mean we already met. Oh, Lightning are up 1-0. There you go.
There you go, Andrew.
There you go. So if they win, they move on to Stanley Cup Finals. Out of the Vegas Golden Knights are playing Montreal, and so far in that series, so Vegas has. It's kind of funny. Montreal, they're. I can't believe I'm actually like hoping they make the final for some reason.
Do you want a Canadian team in there?
I mean, it seems like if a Canadian team was to do it, it'd be them. They're up 3-2. They have a shot at doing it, and they're the last team to do it, and they have the most championships in NHL history. It's kind of
the
weird.
Ones where, like it was 30 years, right?
Yeah,
Since the last one.
It's almost been 30 years. It's 28 years. So but it all at the same time. It's like, man, it feels bad to also. It's like rooting for the Yankees, if, to win a World Series. Like, it's been it's been 12 years, so
So let's make this work here. I think this is going to be a fun little segment we're just going to create. What team is there in any sport that you just absolutely, aside from rugby, because I already know you're going to say the Braves, that you cannot deal with win championship if they're like in the final bits?
right now, okay. So for baseball, if the Astros win another World Series, oh,
I think I'm kind of over it.
I
I
get
think
it.
I'm kind of okay. They only have like two players still left there. You know,
I
I'm
mean,
almost forgiving. I couldn't deal with Boston one because of Alex Cora.
yeah. Let's see. Aside from that, yeah, I already said the Braves. Yeah, even the Mets, I don't mind. The Phillies. I mean, the Dodgers winning it again, just because it seems like, I don't know, a little
Unfair.
overkill, especially with Trevor Bauer winning a ring. You kind of want that pettiness. I mean, it'd be fun to see. You know what would be fun to see? It'd be the New York Yankees versus the Dodgers, and you have like Game 1 between Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer.
Yep.
Oh, I would love to see that. And make Game 1 in Los Angeles so that Garrett Cole has to actually bat.
I have like the smallest, he
You
touches
know,
the bat like he kisses somebody on the cheek. Like,
yeah. And they went to UCLA, so
there's
it'd be
some
a nice
beef.
little homecoming there for them. They were both teammates and they hate each other.
I love it though.
Uh,
Baseball needs rivalries like that with pitchers,
I
even though they're not
mean,
playing against each other.
yeah, it's always between the pitcher and a batter, but it's never really about a pitcher versus a pitcher. There's none of that vitriol because they don't really have to face each other actually uh, at bat, especially probably next season because and the NL is probably going to get rid of the DH. So,
Hope so.
yeah. Let's see. What other teams would I hate to see win a championship? Right now, I mean, I don't know if in hockey, I don't know if I would hate to see Toronto win a championship because it's more about the meme than anything else. It's more about the joke that they can't win no matter what they do. That's
So the
more.
Buffalo Bills of hockey
It seems like,
go
well, I
four
mean,
years in a row to make anything out of it.
it's not even that they can't even make the final. So it's more about they're more like the Chicago Cubs pre 2016
So
or
they're so they're 76ers
or the Red
basically.
Sox pre 2004. So that might be it. But even then, the Red Sox actually made the World Series, so it's not
Yeah.
even that, man. So yeah, maybe.
It's the Clippers then. They're the Clippers
Ah,
until all these potentials and can't get out of the second round.
but either way, that would be. I don't know, Toronto, Montreal. Um, I don't mind them. Uh, what other team? What team do I? I mean, Boston. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see Boston win another thing. For the
Yeah.
so that makes sense there for the Boston Bruins. Uh,
But Brad Marchand,
no, 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 no,
come on.
no. He got his one. He got his. He got his. All right. Boston got theirs, and we don't need Boston winning another one. So there's that. Because even when the Blackhawks were winning them all the three championships, I wasn't like,
This is Patrick Kane, right?
Patrick Kane, Jonathan Tays, Coach Quenville was on there. It was,
Yeah. You see, if I know your name, that means I respect you as a
yeah,
player, especially for hockey.
yeah, yeah.
Because I
So
know dudes, but not like more than 20.
it was just like a really well constructed team. That's like, wow, these guys are actually really good, and they, But I guess being in the Eastern Conference and they're in the West, I guess you don't see them as much. So when you actually see them, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So that might be a different story if they were actually in the conference. So there's that. Let's see. NBA. I don't want to see the Lakers win. I don't. I
See, I like LeBron on the field. I think sometimes he's too whiny, but I still respect that cat.
Yeah, but I just don't need the Lakers winning another one.
We already know who I am, so it's not fair.
All right.
We already know
The
it's Philly.
man, yeah, Philly, but they're not going to win one, so it's not really much of a
It's good.
Philly as they are now. Like if Philly, let's say, get rid of Doc Rivers and build around Joel Embiid and have like a a nice likable team, then things
Yeah.
will change. Things will
I
change
mean, we
there.
could say it because we didn't think about it, but if the Knicks won, it would just be unbearable. Not even because of the Knicks and the players. I actually like the players on the Knicks.
Yeah, I don't mind
I,
Tibbs
I
either.
yeah, I don't mind Tim's. It's the fucking no, excuse me, it's the fan base.
Yeah, it's the fan
It's the
base
fan
and the
base.
ownership.
If I had the ownership, if I had to hear like Spike Lee and Stephen A. Smith,
Yeah,
that's a victory parade. That is
uh,
just, ugh.
James Dolan does not deserve an NBA championship at all. He doesn't even deserve a Stanley Cup championship. So glad he hasn't won that there either. Yeah, Rangers fans would be really annoying if they won the NHL. Oh,
We're
that
doing this for all that is right for the
damn.
world.
I actually might change my answer for Boston because at least Boston, there's at least a, I don't know, I guess a
Decency?
justification to the arrogance and yeah, exactly. I mean, they've been good for a while, and so it's like okay, this is kind of almost inevitable. But with like the Rangers and the Knicks, it's like, oh, they put a semi-competent team together, and they finally win one, and they don't win one for another 40, 50 years. But still, they'll make you remember those 40, 50 years, that one championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just there's too much in the
Rangers
present
fans keep
media.
talking about 94.
Yeah. Well, most players will always pick the ones that are the most recent relevant. It's
Yeah.
weird because I don't go like and say 2009 Yankees. I'm like 2009 Yankees was even the best Yankee championship.
Nope.
If you think of it, aside from '96, 2009 was probably our worst
Yeah. Yeah, 96
for it.
was a weird, yeah, it was like a bunch of like old veterans mixed
Which
with
year?
that young, the core five or whatever of
Best one
guys.
had to be best one had to be '99, right?
I thought it would be 98. I mean, 99 is when you guys had Clemens come in, and it was like you guys. No, I think it.
'99 was the first year of Clemens, and then
Yeah,
2000 was our last one against the Mets
but
because it
well,
was
98 felt more like. I mean, because that was when you guys won all those games,
yeah.
and like after that, getting Clemens was like just putting like that was just like uh, uh, overdoing it at that point. It was like
That was when we were just trying to collectively just get everything
no, that's
done.
what
But
yeah.
so
Steinbrenner was just trying
no,
to like win as
98 was
many as
us and the
possible.
Padres, because all right, so this is how it went. Because '99 was a sweep of the Braves, and that was the first year of Clemens.
Yeah,
And then 2000 was against the Mets, but went forward. But we swept them, and I felt like that might have been the best constructed roster because that was when immediately we had Clemens, and it was against a team that people love so much. In Atlanta. People don't remember those late '90 Braves were
but
fantastic.
they choked all the time.
Well, and they choked against us. They were the
But
equivalent
because
sports-wise
they
to the
said the
Utah
Braves were the,
Jazz.
I keep saying, and I've always, people said the Braves were the team of the '90s. That was the Yankees. The Yankees were the team
Yeah,
of the '90s. The Braves
exactly.
were the
But they had
team. Like you could have said that if they had won at least one championship in the early '90s, but they won that '95 one in a strike-shortened season. By the way, I'm just saying, and they wouldn't have won it in '94 by the way things were going. So I mean, but then the Yankees came in '96. They beat the Braves once, and then they did it a second time with a team that was way better in '99.
yeah, but like that had Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine.
Yeah, John
Uh,
Smoltz, Chipper
yeah,
Jones, Andrew Jones. Who else
just
is on that team?
they
David
had Rocker,
Justice.
man.
Yeah.
Like that
Uh,
that that was a collective group of things, and we spanked them. I'm just saying, like the best championship team that we had
hmm
from that dynasty. 2009 was just like okay.
Yeah.
2009 it was like it was the Phillies, and I think we beat them in six. Okay, sure. We had to buy everybody. It was fine, but we were in that prime. Everybody was kind of in that collective greatness.
Yeah. 2009 was like the last hurrah for that group of guys,
Yeah.
and it was a long way away from the last time they had, like from the first one. So it was just like a final thing at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Rangers, and then in the NFL team that
That'd
I
be
would,
Dallas, right?
yeah, Dallas would be
Gotta be
number
Dallas.
one because that would be insufferable for more than a decade.
But not even just that, but I think it's about reach sometimes. There's a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans throughout the United States.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh no,
in
that's what I'm
Florida,
saying. You'd hear it.
oh, couldn't
Like,
deal with that.
let's see, like Steelers fans, yeah. I mean, but they're not.
I don't. Sailor fans,
Yeah,
I think, are pretty mild mannered. The ones I've come across here
you
in
know.
Florida.
Uh,
Browns fans,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't
would
feel
you,
bad for them,
what?
but I
How
wouldn't
would you
like them.
feel if the Patriots won one without Brady?
I would absolutely love it. I
Because
would
then,
love it completely.
yeah, because then it'd be like, oh, I guess Bill Belichick is,
Good.
yeah, he didn't need Brady after all.
Yeah.
So there'd be that. There'd be that, but I mean, then it'd be Boston winning again.
But does anybody really hate the Patriots aside from like Jet fans? Even Miami fans like understand and respect Brady and Belichick.
Yeah, it was
And
just kind of like an inevitability. Like,
yeah,
all right,
and
let's
just
just
understand this: Tom was great in Tampa. Tom also threw to some high class dudes in Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski. It was an embarrassment of riches. So let us not.
right.
And whereas you look in comparison, where the best um, receiver for Bill that year was, I was gonna say Jacoby Harris as a callback, but that Jacoby Meyer cat. Yeah, guys, like night and day.
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah, I'll be okay with Patriots.
Patriots, and I guess let's see, Jets fans.
I
I
could pass
need,
on the Eagles winning again.
yeah. Jets fans. I mean, what it's the same thing with like the Leafs and even the Knicks. It's like the fact that they keep losing is part of the joke, and I need that joke to keep going.
Yeah, the Jets are never gonna win another one.
Yeah.
Not for a very long time. Detroit, I would feel happy for because I'm like, you're the team that I said you should
Yeah.
get
No,
reduced,
no, no, no.
and you're not.
Even
Um,
Cleveland. Even Cleveland.
nah, I think I would hate it because there's a lot of fake Cleveland fans out
Uh,
there. Just saying.
oh, right
It's like
now.
every couple of years.
I
No, even
guess.
Derek Anderson times.
Hmm.
Do we think we would hate Baltimore if they won it?
Nah.
Because I remember there was some lot of trash talk in those heydays.
Nah.
Giant fans, maybe, but I find Giant fans are super humbling.
I
Sometimes.
feel like because the fact that they beat the Patriots the last two times was the reason why it wasn't that hateable.
Yeah,
So
but
if
I think they're like, yeah, Eli sucks throughout the whole season, but damn, I'm very glad to have him in the playoffs. I found it like that was the humbling effect.
yeah, I guess so.
Oakland, straight up, or not, they're not Oakland anymore. Raiders, straight up, I couldn't live with that. With Mark Davis and his weird ass, Dennis the Menace haircut.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And Gruden winning it?
Yeah.
Come on.
The Raiders winning one. And then you'd have Raider Nation, which I guess extends from
Every
LA
fat
to
man with
Oakland and
silver-
Vegas.
Every
Now.
fat man in silver and black attire?
Yeah,
Please.
exactly.
no.
Yeah, that'd be a bad one. Let's see, the Raiders, San Francisco, nah.
Nah, San Francisco's fine. Everybody loved them.
49ers are fine.
The only people who didn't love the Niners days were the Chargers, man.
Yeah, or the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, gosh,
I would not be able to tolerate Green Bay winning. With all
well, that's for you. That's because you'd be eating a massive bowl of pie.
Humble pie would be the worst pie.
Yeah, that'd be the worst pie for you.
You know it, Matt.
Okay, so yeah, Green Bay specifically for you.
With Aaron Rodgers, I would be all. Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine it. But if Jordan Love was able to bring a ring like a year or two into it,
Ooh,
I would be like, "This is the greatest thing ever." I would buy.
I mean that'd be the
Jordan Love
circle of
jersey.
life for Green Bay quarterbacks, wouldn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this the same thing happened to Rodgers. So in about a decade, Love will be an MVP and be upset.
Confirm this for me. If it was the Dolphins who won it, I don't think I would like it so much because everybody would have to compare it to the perfect season because your own damn players of the past. Oh yeah, I'm happy for them, but it's still not 16-0. Mercury Morris says somewhere.
No. That wouldn't be. No, people here would be absolutely ecstatic. I mean, heck, it might even get annoying at some point because Dolphins get way too much attention here, as it is. But Heat fans are getting there with regards to that a little bit here.
Yeah, we're pretty terrible.
It-
But I think there's a realistic terrible. It's not like Nick.
Well,
terrible.
it's a segment of the fan base, and we know it, and it's a pretty arrogant, ignorant fan base of NBA Miami Heat fans.
And are we that? Somewhat.
That weren't. It's specifically, I think it's the ones that basically were there just solely for the LeBron era. I think.
Yeah, you have to. Once you latch on, you have to stay there until unless they pull a Sam Hinkie.
like for me, I feel like it's that. I feel like it's those fans specific. I think if you were there, especially if you were there in the '90s, if you're there from the old days, and never mind. But if you were there in the '90s and you saw the first one, the first championship, then you're all right.
Yeah.
You're
I
all
mean,
right.
if you rooted for Dwayne instead of freaking
When yeah,
Dirk, then we're cool.
all
But you
right,
have to understand that that's what part of the suck is.
yeah, exactly. When Dwayne Wade was here with, gosh darn it, uh, Jermaine O'Neal. Remember that? Remember those days?
Yeah, yeah, you don't want that.
Remember 2009 through 2010 Miami Heat?
Yeah, we're just kind of predicating a lot of stuff as Dwayne's just dying, trying to get to a fifth
Yeah,
seed and pulling it off.
exactly.
And that's what I
Yeah,
don't think people realize for his position. He was able to at least get us into four, five, sixes.
yeah.
Getting LeBron and Bosch was getting one. There was no two. We were never in any kind of concern of being in a two seed. You know, two, three, four, five, whatever. It was always one thing. Wait, I think the first year did they go? They went two,
Well,
right?
no,
Two
the
seed.
Heat, yeah, the Heat were 1 and 2 for the most part. They were
Yeah,
never three or whatever. It was just,
yeah,
but at that point they kind of knew, okay, regular season is doesn't
yeah.
matter, and
But they were setting records. They were chasing the Rockets like all time winning
yep,
streak coming into it. I think they got it. Went what 23 games?
yeah, yeah. Well, I think yeah, it was something like 27, right? And I think
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
man, those are glory days. They're
yeah.
so good. Even though, and you know what? We're waxing on this one, but sometimes we're in the playoffs right now. We're near the end of the playoffs. Really, about this is where you get to wax poetically. Man, even I loved it. Even when we were losing them finals. You know what I mean? Except
Mm,
for the Dallas one, that kind of stung a little bit. But even I enjoyed losing the Spurs sometimes, even though because the writing was on the wall
yeah.
completely. I feel, but man, because it made the games entertaining and it really brought a spotlight, tear to my eye.
Okay, well, we
Thanks,
are.
McDonald's.
Yeah, thanks, McDonald's, BTS. All right, so Charles, I think are we ready for some cage talk?
We're ready. It might be short, it might be sweet, it might be everything in between. Welcome everybody to your weekly True Pucks of Cage with Charles. Now, full reminder, disclaimer, as we always say, wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is a stage fight. It is a dance. It is ballet. Despite the fact that what old wrestlers tell me, you don't tell me what to do anymore, Dad. It is a story about men and women chasing championships, chasing legacies, writing their own futures. It's sometimes a soap opera, sometimes a drama, sometimes just very bad comedy by a certain Vince Kennedy McMahon. Jesus Christ, it drives me up a wall sometimes. When we last left off, let's give you guys a little bit of what happened on the NXT takeover. The interesting part about the show sometimes is NXT's on the same night as our shows are, so I could get to talk about some fun, fancy things that we were just coming into, and then what other stuff that we can kind of talk about. I left you off on a pay-per-view, and then there's some other things. So Charles, update us, good sir, about things that happened the weekend that were not WWE. I don't I wasn't really paying attention. New Japan has set when my boy Shingo Takagi, your wrestler's favorite wrestler, is going to go against Kota Ibushi. That's going to be sometime in July at Karakin or one of the little pay per views, not at Dominion, but a different one. That'll be hopefully good. Um, bring some new blood in. Apparently, this morning there is new NWGP or IWGP New Japan Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. So how they do it is they don't just have Tag Team Champion division; they also have the Junior Champion division. So what's that? Basically, cruiserweights under 205 pounds. Taji Ishimori and El Phantasmo, who's starting to grow on me. I think I was telling you about it in the maybe a couple things ago, or if I was telling about to my buddy Tony. I just think I also like his theme song. It's really some badass stuff. The headbanger is great. They won the New Japan's Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship from Roppongi 3K, Yo and Show. That was earlier today. Congrats on you guys. We'll be very proud of you in that sense. Ooh, don't kill me. I'm playing as we're talking. Um, Impact stuff's happening. Sami Callihan versus Kenny Omega. That's gonna be set for I think Slammiversary. I don't care. I think the Impact Championship has been devolved a little bit too much when you don't have guys that are actually on your roster holding the belt going from there. Josh Alexander, though, is doing great with the X Division Championship. We don't talk about it enough. Charles, what is the X Division Championship? Well, it's their secondary mid card title. But since they have Kenny, who is holding up the main title for AEW in this big crossover that's going on, then this leaves them the opportunity to make their mid card title just as important. And there's that phrase and that idea that the title is only as good as the challenger and only as good as the champion they have it. Cody tried to do when he was TNT champion. overseeing the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But with this little opportunity, you're able to utilize Alexander in the best way fashionable. I like Alexander. He was part with Ethan Page in the North, where they had the longest reigning tag team championships for um, Impact. And then another thing that I'm big on with him is just his nickname. Sometimes nicknames and gimmicks can sell me on a guy. An image can sell me on a guy or a gal on the character that they're portraying. And do you know what his nickname is, Francisco? He's the walking weapon. How badass about it? I like that thing. I joke about that. I'm like, oh, here comes the walking weapon. If I'm going to court, it's a mentality, it's a mindset. You have to believe that character. So Josh Alexander, if you haven't seen a couple of matches, he had an Iron Man match with TJP for the X Division Championship because they were going against each other. They went 60 minutes and he won. It's some good style, good everything that I could go for. There's some other stuff that's happening in Impact I'm not too followed up on because sometimes with wrestling, especially with the mid-sized promotions, when you only have a couple of pay-per-views a year, I can't get fully updated. Plus, I haven't looked into it. I apologize. Ring of Honor, they're going to be introducing. I know we haven't talked about them in a while, but they will be introducing at some point their women's championship. I don't believe they have one. They're going to go into a women's of honor title. That'll be interesting to go from there. They have former Maria Kanellis going and executive producing from there. She used to be in WWE, but she's going to be help managing or booking with that too. I think that's what I have for Ring of Honor because they've been the ones that have been kind of quiet since the pandemic started. They've kind of faltered and they've suffered to that degree. Oh, I won this game, cool. Coming into it, but this might be that opportunity as the vaccines go out and everything comes in that they can kind of expand and build into it and allow the smaller promotions to build into it as well. Going into the WWE, yeah, it'll be a shorter case, but going into the WWE, we had Hell in a Cell over the weekend. We had NXT. We talked about TakeOver last week and what happened on NXT itself. You know, my heart hurt a little bit, Francisco, when there were some releases. And I listed some of those names that stung hard for me. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Samoa Joe. You know, those are a couple of names. I mean, I like Billy Kay. Today was a birthday. Happy birthday, Billy Kay. If you hear us, follow us on the Twitter, Sports Goofs, at Charles the True, Dan Frijoles, and whatever the hell Francisco's thing is, because he updated it in
I keep
between.
changing things.
Yeah, you know, and unlike me, I'm not good with the winds of change. I'm a very control freak there. Follow us, Billy. We love you. She was so funny. Vince should now let her go. She understood comedic timing like a champion. Hopefully, she does well along with Peyton Royce, who's now, I think she's calling herself Cassie. They have a trademark called the Inspirations. But anyway, back to the aforementioned NXT. People had left, but there were rumors, Francisco, that certain people were coming back. Coming back. You know, true love, Francisco. It might go bumps. It might go bruises. It might be gone for times, but gone is not gone until it's gone. Samoa Joe's back. Oh yeah, that Samoan Destroyer, the right hand of destruction. A man who I have a T-shirt of that I wear at the gym. He has returneth to NXT. There's some stipulations in there because remember when I said, oh hey, you know, there was talks about him not being able to come back or he can't come back or do whatever because he can't wrestle. Maybe that's the reason why they released him. They brought him back as the enforcer for William Regal, the general manager. And what happened was, well, about him going against Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole, it's just muy bueno, as they say in NXT was last night, because today we're doing a Wednesday show for anybody on the podcast that is listening to us. So I get to watch that, and it was pretty interesting. They have the Great American Bash, their live event that is going on. It's not the pay-per-view, but it's just, you know, the typical show, but that usually means they kind of step up some stuff. They've already kind of confirmed some matches. They're going to have MSK versus Ciampa and Thatcher. That should be interesting. I expect MSK to win there. They're going to have a women's tag team match to go against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell next week to see who the number one contender is going to be. So it will be a couple of Io Shirai, Zoe Starks, Raquel Gonzalez, who's already the NXT Women's Champion, and Dakota Kai, her partner, who's kind of been following the original inaugural champions, and then Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. So that'll be like next week's show, so that should be good. But the Great American Bash is building up. They're building a names. The basic thought is Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross. They're part of the Fatal Five Way. I told you on the show. Damn it, I got caught up by the missile. I told you on the show last time that they had oh come on, that was a cheap death, dang it. But I told you on the show when they did the Fatal Five Way for the Takeover pay-per-view that both Johnny and Kross came up looking really good. Now they might be feuding against each other. Say what? I'm about it. Let's do it. It's going to be good. I'm going to enjoy it and go from there. And then we had a pay-per-view this weekend. Hell in a Cell. For a pay per view that's called Hell in a Cell, it seems that only 2 matches in there were in Hell in a Cell, and the feuds that should have been there were not part of it. And I gotta tell you, man, I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it was bad. I did not completely watch it all because it was Sunday night and I was watching some of it, and then I went to go do other things in the in between. But I watched like majority of the matches. And it started with Bayley versus um, Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell. That was just fine. I felt like they didn't really have any chemistry, and when it looked like it, people were saying, "Yeah, it was good." I'm like, "Was it?" Wasn't too much a fan of it. Then you had a couple of other matches that went down there. I'm gonna put my game on pause so I can actually talk about it. Look at that. I'm trying for you guys. You proud of me? I'm proud of me. But you had Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, which was very good up until the end because Cesaro was coming into it very angry, very in between, irate that Seth was bothering him and his confidence screwed him over, and then Seth got a quick pin. Obviously, this feud's not done. Obviously, this is going to go to Money in the Bank. What's going to happen with it? I don't know. Am I okay with it? Sure. Seth is a main event talent, and you can't have Seth always lose. Do I have a problem with it because it stagnates Cesaro's push? Of course. But let's talk a reality here. Cesaro is not going to get, I feel, the Universal Championship title, even though he had what might be match of the year for me against Roman. He's not going to attain it. He's not going to get that title shot and beat Roman clean. He's either going to be relegated to being the soldier boy who dethrones Apollo Cruz's Wakanda knockoff character for the IC title, the Intercontinental title, which is fine. Or, hear me out, kids, you can give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, which is next month, and have him cash in on Roman when the time is right. Other matches that went on: Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler, because Alexa's now like super possessed. It wasn't terrible. I don't know if I needed my wrestling, but it wasn't terrible. Alexa Bliss won. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, good match. Sami won. Owens was basically attacked on Friday. Pay-per-view was on Sunday. Playing off those injuries, probably get some storyline off. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Dumbest thing ever. They're continuing the feud, obviously. It wasn't in the Hell in a Cell, which makes no sense to me. They should have just put that in the cell. How it ended, buddy, was a DQ, a disqualification. You get DQ'd, guess what happens? Champion retains the title. It was in the match. Rhea, as you know, there's the announce table. And Rhea rips off the part of the announce table and hits Charlotte with it and gets disqualified for it. Cued, guess what happens? Champion retains the title. It was in the match. Rhea, as you know, there's the announce table. And Rhea rips off the part of the announce table and hits Charlotte with it and gets disqualified for it. It makes no logical sense because in the unwritten rules of wrestling, if I hit you with a chair, disqualified. If I low blow you, disqualified. If I put you through a table that's a wooden table, disqualified. There have been matches that have gone on that have those standard rules where the people, yeah, I'm laughing because I see that the Twitter had the Hell in a Cell as a crate and I'm cracking up about it. Had to go through the table and it's still through the announcing table and it's still legitimate. The match can still continue, but her ripping off a piece of the table and hitting Charlotte with it is a DQ, and it's an interesting construct because Rhea was supposed to be the face, and that's like a heel thing to do. So either they go into a no holds bar and they try to push this into like extreme rules, or they're just setting up to have Rhea turn heel fully, and then you have Becky Lynch come back from her pregnancy and take the title that she never lost back to her, which is probably what's going to happen. And then Bobby Lashley for Drew McIntyre. Didn't watch it fully. I know the results. It happens. I'm happy with the fact that Bobby won. You know how I feel about Drew. He's been over pushed for me. The condition was that if he had lost, he would not get a chance to challenge for the title as long as Bobby is champion. Versus Brock, which is giving my walking weapon a raise. And can I just say that? I'm going to keep saying it. No one's going to get it. I'm going to love it. It's a euphemism. And then someone's going to call it a pocket knife and shatter my ego. And I'm going to go cry in the corner. That was funny. I'll take that. And then, but they're building up a better feud to Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston. And I'm already about that better. Kofi, man, on Raw, Francisco, he goes and says, buddy, I beat you a month ago. Yeah, Drew helped you, but I still beat you, so that should entitle me to a title shot at some point. And then they had the Hell in a Cell match on Raw where Woods, who is Kofi's boy, they're part of the New Days, is like, I'll defend my boy's honor. And Bobby is basically like, oh, you want a title shot? I'm going to go murder your boy. So he basically kills Woods for all intents and purposes. has Woods in the hurt lock as Kofi's watching his best friend get hurt. And now we have a championship title that's into a blood feud. Remember in the very beginning when I say, Francisco, that sometimes it's, chasing championships, trying to beat the holy hell out of each other, and also just kind of like beating the holy hell out of each other and trying to set that legacy, and that's a soap opera. This is the construct of it. Because with the Raw Championship, or I guess we'll call it the Raw Championship, the WWE Championship, you now have a story for Kofi getting a title shot for the title he never had the opportunity to get a rematch for, because he lost at Brock in October of 2019, and because it was SmackDown, there's some politics involved there, all this fun stuff. Then he did beat Bobby, so he's getting that chance, and then Bobby beat the hell out of his boy because he wants to beat people up. It's a blood feud that could possibly be a soap opera, and I'm all for it, kids. So I'm going to enjoy to see what they do. I think Bobby and Kofi will be able to kind of tear the house down a little bit, because that size differential always works when you have a small man and a big man. Some people don't like it. Some people want meat, slap, and meat, as Big E says. Some people want meat, slap, and meat, as Big E says. I would be in agreement for you. That is why I can't wait for Bobby and Brock Lesnar to occur. Brock Lesnar is in conversation to return to WWE. I have a chub thinking about that match. But for now, I will take this. And that's...
Okay. All right. I was able to keep up with you there too. with
yeah, we're up to speed.
Yeah, man. I was able to keep up with the postings of the stuff. So I was finally able to find the Bobby Lashley thing here. So yeah, there we go. All right. So I had one last thing for Smelter. You guys get that? I'm not going to get it anytime soon. Oh, this game is pretty good right now between Milwaukee and Atlanta, 45-43. It's getting close the entire game. Uh-oh, Milwaukee. It's getting close the entire game. Uh-oh, Milwaukee. Game. Uh-oh, Milwaukee. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, I don't know if Charles is having any more pie at this point between Milwaukee Bucks right now.
Humble pie segment? Is that how I'm gonna close it up?
I don't know. I mean they did it.
I'm gonna have a rifle humble pie.
Okay.
Not to Milwaukee though.
Okay.
Devin Booker, get your pie. You had a triple double without Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a stat stuffer. You might be. Everybody's gonna be a stat stuffer. But you know what, man? It's better to be a stat stuffer than to be a guy who has all that potential and never even put a single stat on.
All right, and take that pie. Don't eat the entire. Just take a little nibble of it, because Jay Crowder, man.
Listen, I wasn't hating on Jay. You and I have talked about it.
No. I'm just saying that's why you just take the little bit of nibble, because I mean you said, man, the Heat not signing Jay Crowder. Oh, and look at this man with the perfect pass.
He is the quintessential 3-and-D guy, by the way. Seriously.
I mean, my goodness, he could not have. That pass had to be perfect. Absolutely, it had to be. Not only did it have to miss the backboard, it had to be right over the rim. Right.
Probably the second best shot I have seen in the playoffs, besides Kevin Durant's ridiculous double contested by PJ Tucker and everybody else, shot in. The DeAndre dunk or from inbound would be my second favorite one besides the Durant one. God, I feel for Kevin Durant. Put everything on that table and just couldn't close it because Kyrie Irving could not stay healthy.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah. Oh, some good stuff. Just to give a little bit to the Suns there. Okay, so I think we're done here. I don't have anything more done here. I don't have anything more done here. I don't have anything more to say aside from that, and that's it, folks. So we'll see you guys next week, I guess. Oh, and Atlanta finally took the lead. There you go. 46-45. Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Yay. Bye-bye.
Take care. Take care. Take care.